The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Don't take this personal, but I hate that your desk is next to mine. After 40 hours of hearing you bitch, let me make one thing clear. The last thing I wanna do is go get a beer. So F you till Monday, don't call and ruin my weekend. F you till Monday, we're co-workers, not friends. And F you till Monday, or politely said go screw. F you till Monday, how did all the layoffs skip you? I see you more than my wife and kids, so when 5 o'clock hits, know this. F you till Monday, F you till Monday, F you till Monday.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Yeah. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but
It was inevitable. Inevitable.
I guess the company wants to squeeze one more live show out of us this week, Cubby. So here we are.
That's what it says in the contract.
I told them. First time I told them you'd be pissed off about it.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I'm furious. I just realized this now. Son of a gun.
But I said we'll do it for the listeners. We'll do it for folks like Bar Soap Works Better on the Beehole Jesus, Victory Motorcycle Jesus, Work 24/7 Jesus, Column Jockey Messiah, Shotgun Messiah Jesus. Folks like that. I said we do it for our wonderful listening audience. So here we are. Welcome to the Effin' Friday program here on the Half-Ass Morning Show. Dad fights today. Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder, mind-bending trivia, heart-pounding, high-level, fierce competition. That's dad fights.
A bit of vitriol in this one. I must say, Dana, you shined.
Oh, I did? Thank you.
Not to give too much away, but
What, did he get really hammered on air yesterday and insult everyone in the building?
no, that was you back in 1998.
Oh, wait, yeah, when you used the word shined.
Yeah.
It brought back some memories.
Dana, you have some bite to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, with today's
I
topic.
thought I'd get a little feisty with it.
You did a great job.
I thought I'd really lean into the spirit of the thing.
No, honestly, you did.
That's what Dickie Dunn would do.
You did an awesome job putting that together for
Thank
once.
you, guys.
Yeah, no, seriously, it was great for once.
We have a...
Did you really need those last two words?
I did.
Okay.
There's a bit of... how did you say it? You added what to it?
Vitriol.
Vitriol.
Yeah, a
There's
little bit of spice.
That's the vibe in today's dad fight?
That's right. I look forward to it. It might upset some people. Sensitive people.
Oh, you know,
I like that kind of stuff.
That's exactly what I'm looking for on a daily basis. Play along at home or at work if you like. 8 a.m. Dad Fights 100 plus 40 with Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder.
Especially if you or someone you know is a 715er. Tune in. Tune in.
Well, from Wisconsin?
That's right.
That ought to be something. We're going to piss off people in Wisconsin. Maybe.
Possibly.
That's what I'm...
Boy, I hope so.
That's what I'm looking for. Wapple, somebody said something about a bachelor party this weekend. Is it on or what?
Woo! Bachelor party!
Whose bachelor party? Is it one of the Doink Gang?
Yes, it is.
Have we met this person?
Yes, you have.
Okay.
It's one of my old roommates before I moved in with my landlord.
Okay, so it's been on some of the boats and things like that.
Yes.
Is he an idiot?
No, he's
Really?
actually not.
He's actually, of all your friends, he's not an idiot?
Yes.
That's good.
Yep.
So you're saying,
Yeah,
look out, everyone, here comes the Doink Gang?
Oh, yeah, you guys got to watch out in Isle, Minnesota. Here comes the Doink Gang.
Oh, Isle, nice. Why are you going to Isle?
We're going to be doing some golfing and some fishing on Lake Mille
Ah,
Lacs.
Christ. I knew it. I was just going to ask. I had to know, what do Frisbee golf enthusiasts plan for a bachelor party? Because that's you and your buddies are Frisbee golfing dorks for the most part. You're going to go fishing and golfing?
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Cubby,
Yeah,
what
he's a
happened
huge
to
golfer.
bachelor parties? I knew it was going to be something that was going to aggravate me.
That sounds
I got a way to
incredible.
aggravate you further.
You're going to aggravate me even further.
Depending on Wapple's answer. Is it co-ed?
No.
Oh, thank God. Oh, honestly, my heart palpitations kicked in when I was awaiting that answer.
I have never been to a co-ed bachelor party.
Well, no one has. Mostly no one has.
I haven't.
I have.
I bet
I
Dana
haven't.
has.
I
No.
have.
What?
You both have, Dana and Ashley?
No,
Well,
I haven't. No.
This wasn't a scenario where it's like, let's get the bridesmaids and the groomsmen and all together. It's more of just, hey, you're my friend and you happen to be a dude coming to my bachelorette party. Or my best friend Kelly came to my bachelor party.
There's no way you can put a spin on it that's going to work on us,
Yeah,
Dana.
that's a little different than like the whole entire bridal party, because when I had my bachelorette party, I invited one of my like best guy friends that I was friends with since like the 6th grade. He didn't end up coming, but I mean, one person versus like all 8. It's a little different.
I don't know. There's no way to defend it, Ashley, in my book. So
I wouldn't want to be the one guy at a
I would hate that.
bachelorette
I
party.
wasn't. The one bachelorette party I went to, there's me and 3 other guys.
Yeah, I think he would have been fine being the only dude at like a cabin of nothing but all girls getting drunk for the weekend.
golfing and fishing, huh, Wapple?
Yeah.
In Isle, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know some people up there. They're 83 years old, but I could hook you up with if you need any help.
Sweet.
You know how when you get up in that neighborhood, everyone's about 83,
Yeah.
84.
Hey, where can I get some Werthers?
I've
You guys
never-
know where the Werthers are.
Oh, they know where the Werthers are. I've never been there when there wasn't ice on the lake. Only been up there like ice fishing and snowmobiling.
I did.
Pretty, you'd like it.
Yeah, I did one other bachelor long time ago with my cousin. We did a charter out of Eddie's, I want to say, on Mille Lacs.
Jesus, yeah. That brings back memories.
It does.
This is funny. Outdoor weed, Jesus. I hope a rogue Mille Lacs wind comes up and capsizes the Doink Gang's boat.
I don't know if you're going to be too accepted up there.
That's going to be a lot of wet hippies.
Oh, you
yeah.
druggies.
Dude, wet hippies smell terrible. There's
Long
not.
hair.
There's no cabin or bar in Isle that's going to let you guys in there if you're soaking wet. It's like having. Remember, like when a lab runs in the cabin and he's soaking wet from running around in the river. It's like, oh, get him out of here.
Dude, it smells even worse. Yuck.
What are you guys going to go try to catch some walleyes?
Yeah, some walleyes. We'll probably smoke some joints.
Yeah.
I'd be sure.
Oh, I'm sure you'll smoke some ganj.
Yep.
Rev
Bonfires.
Audit Jesus says she'll see you in Isle. She's going to be there, Wobble.
nice.
Oh, now it's turning into co-ed.
Well, that's different. I mean, this is it's not people that are part of the wedding.
I figured it would be something like that, Wapple, when you and your pals get together. I figured it would be something kind of nature-y, right?
Yeah.
Nature-y.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of fishermen, golfers. That's kinda what they
Granola
do.
bars. Will there be granola bars?
No. Brats and hamburgers. We'll have that.
I
Frozen
guarantee.
pizzas.
How many guys are coming up there?
14.
Give me a
Whoa.
call. Give me a call when you get up there. I guarantee you someone brought granola bars.
Or trail mix.
I'll just give you a text message. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
granola bars.
text me, and confirm the granola bars.
What kind of lodging accommodations do you guys have? You guys.
Tents.
We got a cabin with
Cabin?
a bunch
Yurts.
of
They're not
rooms.
tents when it's the Doink Gang. It's yurts.
Yurts.
You guys are staying in yurts.
What is a yurt?
Isn't it the big like cloth and then they have like a stove in there? to
Yeah.
kinda keep
You
it warm?
nailed it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You nailed
I
it.
have seen
Yep.
those.
What do you
have a
mean,
lot
like I saw in the movies about the Civil War?
Yeah.
Look, that's a yurt.
They have them like up in Canada and stuff
Oh,
like that.
Josh
a lot
is
of
showing
those
me
places.
a picture of a yurt. I've never heard of that in my life,
It's almost like glamping.
but it looks kind of pretty on the inside.
Yeah.
That's been a big thing lately is I've been hearing a lot of people going glamping more.
Oh, yeah, there's a resort that
Yeah.
has nothing but yurts.
That'd be sweet. You just have this giant king-size bed and you can sleep outside in a nice tent.
I don't know how I
Ask-
miss out on these things like yurts.
Ask me about CrossFit. Jesus wants to know, will there be an acoustic guitar?
Clowns never laughed before.
I think there will be.
Really?
Beanstalks never grew.
Will there be a sitar I'm interested in?
There will not be a
man.
sitar. I know
Will
that.
there be a hookah?
No. There would be no hookah, maybe a bong. I could see a bong in the future. One of my other buddies that's not a part of this friend group, he would bring a banjo.
I've always wanted to learn how to play the banjo.
This guy's such a prick. He taught himself how to play banjo.
I would love
Taught
to
him-
do that.
He taught himself how to play piano, banjo, guitar, drums.
Sounds like he's a talented guy. How the hell did
Insane.
he get locked into the Doink Gang?
He's been a friend of mine ever since we were probably 4.
I like your vibe. I like you and your buddy's vibe, Wapple. I do. Okay, we got a hell of a lot of weed. We got the yurt. We've got our golf clubs and our fishing rods. Well, where should we go? Let's go somewhere where the average age is around 81 years old. All right, boys, here we go.
We're gonna stand out.
Let's go someplace where we will not be accepted by the locals. Wash my butt before my face, Jesus wants to know, will you be driving to Isle in a VW bus?
No,
You're not going to.
That'd be tight.
That would be really cool.
Oh, man. You know, Josh and I once went to a bachelor party, and Josh killed a guy.
With a trident. I did.
Did he have it coming?
That's how
No.
bachelor parties have changed. That's how bachelor parties have changed. Now they're going to Isle with fishing rods and what was the other thing? Golf clubs.
And weed.
And weed. I'll be honest, I wouldn't have cared if my wife wanted to have a co-ed bachelorette party.
Jesus, don't say that to me.
I don't mean to upset you this early in the morning. I know you're already upset. And
You want to know what real stress is? Josh can attest to this because he was there. Referencing that bachelor party that he and I went to where Josh killed a guy. And nobody, especially the guy that he killed, saw it coming at all. If you want to know what real stress is, drinking in a legitimately dangerous downtown Minneapolis bar with an idiotic and obnoxious drunken clown from Orono.
oh man,
Do you remember that night?
Yes, and I've been in that situation before, but it was an obnoxious drunken clown from South Minneapolis, and luckily, as a guy, he was challenging just random tough guys walking around Minneapolis, and it's always good. It's always good when he's about 5'4", bespeckled, and maybe, I don't know, 110 pounds. I like that guy's the one that wants to start trouble. I thought we were all dead. I just met him that night, and after a while, I had to make sure that his rivals knew I just met this guy tonight.
Yeah.
You go ahead, do whatever you need. There's no value. He has no value to me whatsoever.
I just remember we were all in a circle drinking, and there was the one dude from Orono, Tweeterville, hammered, and he would not shut up, and he is annoying and aggravating everyone in the bar. And it was almost as if you remember, Josh, our group of dudes kind of collectively thought, okay, why don't we just kill him before the regulars at the bar do? You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'd be more merciful.
That's exactly right. The more merciful way out is if we just killed him ourselves before the locals kill him.
Gear grinding truck driving Jesus said he's been to a bachelor party in Vegas where cell phones weren't allowed.
Oh, that's dangerous.
So they couldn't be traced by their wives or end up in jail.
my
You don't
God.
want the evidence.
Yeah?
That's smart.
Where'd Jimmy go? I don't know. We all don't have phones.
Yeah, see, that. I don't know. That's smart, but also really dumb.
Well, I think the move would be you all get burner phones for the weekend.
Burger phones.
Burner phones.
Burner. What,
Like a phone that's got the prepaid amount of minutes on it, and all you can do is call people. It's not for texting or taking pictures or tweeting.
What
or
drug dealers have
Yeah.
back
Dude,
in the
if you
day.
have to go to that extent to hide what you're doing from your significant other, that you might need to reevaluate what you got going on.
Isn't it odd that there's some of us that don't believe we could make it at a bachelor or a bachelorette party without our phones? What is
Today's
it?
day and age?
For Christ's sake.
you lose track of them, they're gone forever. You'll never see them again.
Well, that's okay. They're grown folks. I mean, what do you get? We're not going to Mars. I mean, we should be able to collectively survive a weekend without our phones.
I don't know.
It's kind of a sad statement
world
on
is
society.
a dangerous place.
Pardon me?
The world is a dangerous place.
We survived it for many years, Ashley, without phones.
But what are we going to do if we are on the toilet?
Yeah.
You got to have your phone.
Handheld Yahtzee, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that
Just ready for my bachelor
that's tougher
party.
to find. Like, a long time ago, we were talking about this, if you bring your phone to the toilet or not. And I remember a text came in saying, that would be, if you don't bring your phone to the toilet, that's like going to war without a weapon. 5'3" Double D She's has said she's crashed a bachelor party before, and it wasn't for her. The boys would have went stupid golfing instead of going to the strip club.
No. So she helped him out.
She tried to make it cool, I think.
Yeah, man. Yeah, times have changed. Things have changed.
Ready for the bachelor party in Vegas. Got my handheld Yahtzee.
In case I got to poop. When does this whole thing go down? Is it starting today or?
Yeah, we'll get up there tonight, and then everything really starts tomorrow.
Somebody sent me a picture of the perfect stripper for the Doink Gang. It is a massive bundle of marijuana with a bikini top on it.
That's awesome.
I'm in.
Yeah, you know. I mean, I'm sure we could trade some horrible bachelorette parties back and forth. I mean, I know that gimmick's kind of been done to death. But I can tell you what I believe is the worst that I ever heard. And it's not, vomiting and getting arrested and fighting, and it's not maybe what you'd expect. But this is the one where I thought, man, there really is no reasonable way to ever come back from this. And it was a situation where a dude I know was at, like, say, his cousin's, I think it was his cousin's bachelor party. And right from the get-go, when he told me the story, a chill ran up my spine. Family members. I mean, aside, like, for me personally, my bachelor party years ago, my brother was there, and that's as far as I'm going with family.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Just because there's certain behaviors, there's certain habits that the whole family doesn't need to know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knew Ashley would know what I mean.
Definitely. My mom came to my bachelorette party, and I don't know if that was the best idea. I just remember the only question she had was not about, like, how much I drank, I guess, per se, but, like, why it didn't seem like I was, like, acting like I should for how much I drank. Like, she didn't like that my tolerance was so high.
You know, I've been in her shoes. For my stepdaughter's 21st birthday, I thought, wow, she's had quite a few drinks here, and she was totally fine. That didn't seem right to me.
Yeah.
And obviously all of this depends on what activities you have planned for your bachelor or bachelorette party when it comes to bringing family. If you're going to go fishing and pot smoking and golfing like Wapple, what's the risk? But I'm talking about good old-fashioned drug and alcohol-fueled, buried in strippers type activities. So when my buddy tells me, yeah, I was at my cousin's bachelor party, I thought, ooh, really? At any rate, not only were cousins there, but my buddy's dad was there. And that's where I thought, oh, no. And it played out about as badly as I think it possibly could. Now, from the story I was told, things were relatively normal, bar hopping, binge drinking. But at one point or another, some entertainers were hired and brought over to the house to close out the party. Now, here's where, in my opinion, I don't know how you come back from this. This buddy of mine got so intoxicated that he purchased a sex act from one of the entertainers. And he was fading in and out of consciousness at that point. But he thought he was alone, and he purchased a sex act. And while the act was being performed upon him, he woke up to see his dad watching him receive a sex act.
Oh, I wonder how long you've been standing there.
Does it really effing matter?
No, but I mean,
1 second is too long. Oh no.
He awakens, And he looks down and he says, "Oh, sure, I remember that. I paid for that." And then he looks up and sees a disapproving glance from across the room coming from his father.
I can't even imagine.
There's no coming back from that.
Have my dad at a strip club, certainly not bringing professionals to the hotel room or wherever you're at. There's no way.
That's the worst I ever heard. So there you go. What else is going on around here?
You guys coming to the company charity event today?
Company charity event today.
Well, I'm going to say Nick's out.
No, I know I won't be there. I've got stuff going on.
Waffle, yeah, you got the Doink Gang.
Yeah, I'll be with Doink Gang.
Well, maybe I'm not invited after telling that last story. What's the company charity event today?
Well, you got to know what is going on there. We're going to Second Harvest Heartland today as a company. And, going to be packing some food and whatnot. So I'm the only one going.
I'm trying to find out how long it is because I have something else going on, and it's all the way up in Brooklyn Park.
I'm sorry,
So
Josh.
I'm trying to figure out if I can make both things work.
I don't know if this story ever got past my way.
It did.
We talked about it on the air.
Yeah.
We talked about it on the air.
Yeah.
But feigning ignorance.
Of course I'm going to be there.
Of course you're
I'm
gonna
going
be
to be there. I wouldn't miss out on that.
Well, I was hoping we could have some fun after show get-together time today.
Oh, I hate that.
Doing some good.
I hate that. I don't mind doing good, but, man, I wish we could have done this before the show.
Get it over with?
Yeah, because after the show, I'm cooked.
Yeah, it's not
I don't know how you do it.
Well, it's no big deal. It's just, middle of the afternoon in Brooklyn Park. That's pretty cool. In what could be a major thunderstorm during that time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of exciting. Well, yes.
Well, dang, I was hoping to hang with you guys.
Well, what the hell? What the hell's the matter with the rest of you guys? Why aren't you going to the thing with Josh?
Yeah, no kidding.
I have to go look at a house.
You know what? Cancel the bachelor party. I'm going.
It's crazy. Nick and I, all we do is give.
Yeah. And the rest of you are just sitting there.
The way I'm going to be there, Nick's not going to be there, but he will be in spirit. He wanted to be there.
He was all fired up about it.
He was excited. He was kind of leading the charge on this thing. Well, I'm disappointed in all of you. Except for Ashley, I could never be mad at you.
Thanks,
Sorry,
Josh.
Cubby.
That's all right. Day ruined, but it's all right.
Oh, man. Well, now I feel like I owe society something.
Well, you know what you could do? Just send some of those girls that you're familiar with. Pick up everybody's spirits.
The girls that I'm familiar with?
Yeah.
What's that supposed to
the
mean?
ones you were talking about that
I wasn't at that party.
Willing to do things.
Where father and son somehow...
you were too, you and your dad. Remember your dad saw something going on after you spent some money on a thing?
That was not me and my dad. You didn't take that from that story, did you?
Well, I think we all did.
What the hell? Oh, wow. It's Friday. It's a hell of a deal. Like I said a little bit later on, I am really looking forward to, dad fights. I really am.
Yeah, this is good.
It's always a fun...
And it's all in fun.
It's always, yes, exactly. It's all in fun. It always is a fun end of the week type of an operation when we get to dad fights, but I really think that this one's going to be special. So appreciate you tuning in. I got all these effing text messages coming in on bachelor and bachelorette parties. Maybe I can get a good story out of it. We'll be back here in a minute or two on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace or AC is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Are you currently enjoying the show on the Stitcher app? Then you need to know Stitcher is going away on August 29th. Yep. Going away, as in kaput, gone, dead. Rest in peace, Stitcher. And thanks for 15 years of service to the podcast community. So switch to another podcast app and follow this show there. Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X. Stupid news on the Half-assed morning show.
All right, here's what we've been talking about. We've been busting Wapple's balls a little bit over there. Wapple and his bros.
The Doink Gang.
Who frustratingly anointed themselves the Doink Gang years ago are headed up to Party City, Minnesota this weekend. Isle. I-S-L-E. Isle. You can't have, I'm sure all of you have been through that part of the state, right?
Of course.
You can't miss the bright lights of Isle as you're coming into town.
You can't spell party without Isle.
They're going for a bachelor party outing.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna question that one too, Josh.
Wapple said they're going to go fishing and golfing.
Be swimming in women.
You know, it made me ask, Jesus, whatever happened to real bachelor parties? Our listeners have been texting in with sarcasm. Earlier, someone asked, are the boys bringing an acoustic guitar? Are they all traveling together in a Volkswagen bus? Bunch of stoners. Josh, remember that dude we knew back in the day who would, I'm trying to get the correct order of things. He would throw his hair back over his shoulders, right? And then he would take a hit off of his joint, and then he'd strum his acoustic guitar. Anyway, here's another question for the Doink Gang from the listening audience. Are you bringing a telescope to spot planets?
No, I could do that by myself.
Oh, we get that big meteor shower. That'd be a perfect place to go look for it this weekend.
That would be cool.
Now, if you remember, Outdoor Weed Jesus texted in when he found out your bachelor party plans. Well, not your bachelor party, but your friend's. But Outdoor Weed Jesus texted in and he says, I hope a rogue Mille Lacs wind comes up and capsizes the Doink Gang's boat. He texted again. He also hopes a rogue Isle wind comes up and capsizes the Doink Gang's yurt.
That'd be quite the wind.
Oh, wow. And finally, on the topic of bachelor parties, a listener just simply asked the question, how many of us have seen the movie Very Bad Things?
Yeah, I've seen that.
I haven't seen it.
It's outrageous, it's ridiculous, but also pretty entertaining and real dark.
Yes, very dark, and it's amazing how quickly and how far things escalate.
Is it a dark comedy or just like a horror movie?
No, not a horror movie by any stretch. More like a dark. Mm-hmm. Would you call it a comedy? I mean, I think it's meant to be over the top ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I'd call it more dark than comedy, but I think that'd be a fair label to put on it. Oh, wow.
It's got some good actors in there.
Oh, yeah. It's got this guy, the other guy.
Christian Slater, Cameron Diaz, Jon Favreau, Jeremy Piven, Daniel Stern.
I mean, of the dozens of 15 to 20-year-old movies, Josh, that I try to encourage you to watch, I know this might get lost in the mix, but I enjoy the hell out of Very Bad Things. I do. All right. We're going to get her going here with a terrifying situation at a supermarket in Austria. Folks had to up and evacuate the supermarket when somebody spotted a highly venomous spider crawling around in the store. Now, apparently, this here spider is the type to not be played around with, unless you want to end up dead or spend the rest of your life with a rod in your shorts. The word is, if this spider ups and bites you, you either drop dead or live out the rest of your days with a permanent erection.
No way. How are those the only two options?
Those are the only two options, Ashley.
What do you choose?
Death?
Or just a permanent towel rack?
Or unga bunga? They call it the Brazilian wandering spider. That's the sumbitch that was wandering around the store. And this little bastard doesn't usually hang out in stores or in Austria, but sometimes, I bet you Josh could tell you this because he used to work in a how do you call it, a cafe?
Grocery store.
Oh, I thought both?
Yeah, yeah.
You worked at a cafe for a while, and also sometimes these spiders will hitch a ride on bunches of bananas, won't they?
Not just sometimes. I would say a few times a week.
How many spiders did you find in bunches of bananas in your culinary career?
Well, never at a restaurant, but at the grocery store, whenever I'd stock the produce section, me and another guy would almost have a contest to see who could see the most dead tarantulas.
No, dude, I didn't need to know that.
So they hitch a ride on the bananas, and then they end up in all different parts of the world. You're going to have trouble with that?
Ashley didn't need to know that.
No, I don't like that.
You've just ruined the rest of her weekend. This one here was a 4-inch long black and red Brazilian wandering spider. The folks at the supermarket called the cops when they saw it, and the joint's been closed ever since. Nobody in town wants to risk instant death or perma-wood to broom this effing thing out of there. The spider's still on the loose.
Boner for Life Jesus is willing to take the risk on that spider.
The Brazilian wandering spider is featured in the Guinness Book of World Records as the most venomous arachnid around, other than death. Its bite can also cause hypothermia, how do you say that? Blurred vision. Hypothermia, blurred vision, and convulsions, along with, like I told you, a lifelong hard-on. You just be sweeping knickknacks off of coffee tables until the day they bury you. You know what I mean? You're dishing out confusing hugs to relatives until the day that you die.
You know, my eyes are up here.
Yeah.
This butt stuff buff Jesus said, "Oh God, I just bought bananas a minute ago." Don't worry, we as a professional, back in my day when I was a professional, we get rid of those spiders for you.
That's nice of you.
Living life with a perma-rod. I don't, this just came to mind. Maybe the brother and sisterhood can text us, 651-989-9393. What kind of activities or just everyday things would you have to stop doing forever if you had to go about life with a permanent hard-on?
I would never touch my children again. That's for sure.
No more hugs.
No, not at all.
I mean, how would you have to alter your everyday life? How would you have to alter your everyday life if for the rest of your days you had a bone ski? Text us, 651-989-9393. I'm sure plenty of you have a decent theory.
Probably couldn't go to Chuck E. Cheese anymore.
No, yeah, you're right.
Definitely
no parks.
Mm-hmm.
No parks.
No elementary schools.
Probably no arcades, Dana.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Oh, that would kill you, Dana.
Well, the 21 plus arcades, I think it'd still be safe.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you're not going to Legoland or Lego World anytime soon.
Funerals are out. No funerals. Boner for Life Jesus checked back in and said they're going to have to bury me 6 foot 3 inches in the ground.
It's a long ways down.
I'm jealous of that 3 inches.
Boy, does that sound terrible.
Oh, these texts are coming in quick. Yeah, away from schools. No more teaching for me, says hand arm stronger than left arm, Jesus. I bet, is that what they mean?
Well, you know, I mean, aside from dealing with kids, I mean, you'd have to be very, very careful every time you close the hood on your motor vehicle or close a suitcase or close a door, a cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to lay down on a toilet the rest of your life.
You had to
If you have to
Superman
pee.
that thing.
Right.
Yeah.
How the hell are you going to take a whiz bang?
And the spray back at the urinal. Dude.
Unless you get a urinal that's really high up in the wall and you can get enough arc underneath it to get it up in there.
I imagine that would hurt. Now, this person texted me, and I don't know if they meant me or themselves about the permanent erection. I don't think anyone would notice. Not one person.
Explain that to the boys in the hockey locker room every Sunday. You know what I mean? When you get undressed. Dude, how come you get a boner? Well, there was this spider. Sure, a spider.
At the grocery
Can you imagine,
store.
like, telling some terrible news to somebody and you've got a boner? Like if you're an oncologist or something and you got to deliver some horrible news to somebody.
I'm sorry, but your mother didn't make it.
As you can tell, I'm very distraught.
Right.
You're just like, Peter Parker got all those cool superpowers. I'm just boner man now.
To be a doctor. Your mother didn't pull through. As a matter of fact, she was in great pain until the very end. And you get, what? Why do you have a... Now, I like to believe I have a decent sense of humor. I believe I know a joke when I hear or see one, but maybe I'm missing something here, Josh. You can tell me. Some friggin' wacky-ass Finn in Copenhagen, Denmark, don't you know? He put 26.5 pounds of dynamite in his friend's cars and claims it was all a joke.
Hilarious.
So is that funny? Am I losing my ability to identify humor?
Yeah, there's no humor
not
there.
Funny at all.
I'm not trying to break our text system here, but maybe folks can text in a joke someone played on you where there's absolutely no humor. And hopefully it's not putting over 26 pounds of an explosive in your vehicle.
Yeah, that's a great question.
I know it's happening. For the life of me, I can't come up with it. But I've had that feeling like, well, how is that a prank? Mm-hmm. That's not a prank. That's just mean and stupid.
Well, maybe it's just... No, it's a good question. Are Finns known for their creative and wild sense of humor? I don't know. Maybe I don't know enough Finns.
You don't like the Finns?
Well, no, it's the Swedes.
I thought you didn't trust the Finns, or...
I don't trust any Finn, but it's those big, stubborn Swedes that get me the most aggravated, Josh. You know that. Oh, man, they won't budge an inch, those Swedes. So here's the deal. This Finnish guy, he split up his dynamite distribution between two separate cars that his pal owns. He put some dynamites in one and the rest in the other. And I'm only laughing because this is so ridiculous. This isn't funny. His bro, maybe by now his ex-bro, he didn't think it was cute. He called the cops. And the Finnish dude admitted to placing the explosive in the cars and said he never intended to blow anyone up. But now old Jokes McGee here is staring down 2 years in prison. Let's see him create some comedy out of that situation.
This is from Looking at Lake Superior Jesus. Reminds me of when I put rat poison in my buddy's energy drink. Hilarious.
Classic gag.
I can think of one that my family tried to play on my mom once. You know those like fake scratch offs? You can get like a...
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah. I've been a party to one of those.
Yeah, it was Christmas. And my mom doesn't have like the best heart in the world. And I found out that they were trying to play that prank on my mom. And my mom loves scratch offs and like the lottery. And I snitched right away. I was like, hey mom, by the way, they're going to do this to you. And I think it's really messed up. And she could have really used the money at the time. So I was like, that's not funny. I don't find that, no.
Was it a Finnish person that pulled that prank? I'm kidding.
Yep, it was.
I have seen that played out, and I thought it was friggin' brilliant. I was totally unfamiliar with that bit. This was a buddy of mine's 30th birthday party or something many years ago. And, you know, everyone's handing him cards and whatnot at the bar or whatever. And someone gave him a scratch-off ticket, and I was totally unaware of what was going on. I was not in on the joke. And he scratches it off, and he pushes himself back from the bar, and he goes, he's looking for his girlfriend, a fiance, I think it was at the time. He's
geez.
Like, where is she? And he looks at her, and he goes, 30 grand. We just won 30 grand. I just scratched off. And then the dude who gave him the scratch off said, look closer. And he realized it was a joke. And dude was pissed.
I would be livid.
Come on. You know you wouldn't be.
That's life-changing.
That's hilarious is what it is.
To think for a second that, like, all of my problems are just gone.
I don't know.
And then to be like, oh, never mind. My life still sucks.
I love that bit. I was jealous that I didn't come up with it.
I witnessed it, and the look of heartbreak on the person when they realized they were being pranked. It singed my heart.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for him.
Exactly.
I'm all in on that kind of stuff. I'm all in on that. But back to this guy. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure the cops are looking into whether or not he planned to kill somebody.
Yeah.
But it is possible that this dumbass dude was just dumb enough to think that putting deadly explosives in a car is funny. I mean, we all know people who are absolutely convinced that they are the undisputed king or queen of comedy, and their delivery of jokes is beyond awful, but they themselves are too dumb to realize it. I don't know.
Dumbest prank I was ever a part of was it happened in high school. There was a big party going on, and the high school down the street, the rival high school, they got word that there was going to be a party happening, you know? So you think, what are the options? You go crash the party. Maybe if you're really cruel, you mess with the cars that are all parked outside the house because you know where the party is. These guys ordered pizza to the party. You know, this is back in the day where you paid the pizza man when it comes. Mm-hmm. So the pizza guy gets there, he's got like 10 pizzas, and I'm looking around, hey, who ordered the pizza? And like nobody's fessing up or anything. So I go, all right, well, how much is the total? You tell me it's like 150. So I go around with a hat, just everybody throw some cash in. They're drunk kids. Everybody's going to want pizza. We're probably going to order pizza later that night anyway.
True.
So then they call us and they're like, hey, have fun getting stuck with that pizza bill. As we're all just, you know, everybody chipped in $5. We're all enjoying a bunch of Domino's. Like, they thought we got you guys.
Oh, I see.
This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to us.
I was like they thought like, oh man, they're gonna get stuck with this bill. And like, there's like 30 kids there. Everybody threw in a couple bucks. We got pizzas. It was fantastic.
Oh, I can't think of a prank gone wrong. I'm probably forgetting.
Wait, there's a lot coming in. We're gonna have to sift through these.
We've all seen this gimmick play out in movies. By God, it worked in real life. It did. Cops in New York City say that a prisoner that was receiving medical treatment, a prisoner that was receiving medical treatment escaped from a hospital by tying bed sheets together and then rappelling down from 5 effing floors up.
I didn't know that actually worked.
Yeah, it's just something you see in cartoons or movies.
And once he hit the sidewalk out front the hospital, he hailed a taxi, and now, as they say, he gone.
I don't think I know how to tie a good enough knot.
Jesus balls.
To trust that that's going to work.
If I tried that, they would find my broken carcass split open on the sidewalk with a bed sheet hanging out my tender bottom. I can't tie a decent knot to save my life, which, by the way, makes being a boat owner a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so true.
But as a good friend of mine always says, if you don't know how to tie a decent knot, just tie a lot of them.
Yes. My dad, I help him with his boat all the time, and I'm pretty sure he thinks I know how to do some like fancy knots, but I just keep going.
Every once in a while, I'll get it right. Every once in a while, for whatever reason, you know what I'm talking about, Ashley. My brain can't hang on to that knowledge. I don't know why. I can remember every track of every Kiss record ever made, but I'll tie a decent, proper knot, nautical knot, right?
Yep.
I'll do it once. I'll go out on the boat 4 days later. I have no memory of how the hell I did it.
That's so true.
So then I just sit there tying 11 knots on top of each other, and the dock kid at Lord Fletcher's is, what's the matter with you? Get out of the way. I'll show you how to do it. It's stupid. I suck at knots.
I wonder at what point in your Navy career they teach knots, because I just want to go that far.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd love to learn all the knots.
The guy who got her done with the bedsheet escape, he's a 44-year-old fella. He escaped from the hospital at 4:30 Wednesday. Hell, he even made it during daylight hours. He's rappelling down the side of the building.
I kind of would like to see something like that. Wouldn't you guys enjoy watching somebody scale the side of a building with some bed sheets?
It's a boring day at the office. You look at the building across the way and you see someone rappelling down with bed sheets. Yeah, that'd be a lot of entertainment. I don't know why this guy was in the hospital. Maybe crabs. I don't know. But he was taken to the bathroom for a shower at one point at the hospital. Nobody was looking. He ties together the bed sheets, and there he went out the damn window. Like when the Army was closing in on the Blues Brothers at the Cook County Assessor's Office. Hut, 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 hut. Anybody? Blues Brothers, 1980, John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd.
I've heard of it.
The Cook County Assessor's Office.
It's been referenced on this show before. I thought of a prank.
You thought of a prank?
I thought of a prank that wasn't very cool, and it happened in this building. Remember a band dropped off a cake
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't tell anybody that this cake was laced with marijuana.
Yeah,
that's not cool.
Friggin' stupid.
So, I mean, there's a bunch of people running around here grabbing this. You know what it's like when food's out there, it's gone.
Yeah, instantly.
Right?
Thankfully, I didn't touch any cake, but
Yeah, me
that
too.
was reckless and stupid.
That was
is
stupid.
so
And
not
illegal.
smart.
That was really stupid. And yeah, no one thought that was funny. I didn't get how anybody would think that. I mean, these, people, some of the salespeople, they got to drive around for their job.
Yeah. I mean, I like smoking weed, but I can't imagine, not knowing that I'm getting high. I'd think I'm dying.
The good news is that band never made it, so we win.
Good.
That's true.
Ha.
Yeah. Not one hit single.
Nope.
How many times, I forget, how many times did they go platinum?
0.
0 times.
It was 0 times. They can make a cake, they just can't make a decent song.
Oh, this is Insomniac Jesus recommends I just join the Boy Scouts instead of the Navy. It's a lot easier. And you get to learn not to. And I'd imagine I'll get a patch for it, too, won't I? I didn't even consider that.
Hey, Cub Scouts, we got a new troop member today. His name's Josh. Everybody welcome Josh. Hi, Josh.
He's a little older than the rest of you.
I never thought about that, the friggin' Boy Scouts. I kick myself for turning that down. I do.
Me too. I got a buddy that made it to Eagle Scout, and I thought that was pretty cool.
My dad brought it up to my brother and I, and we both said, no, thanks. And I just, there were some really cool dudes in my grade school who were Cub Scouts, but what a Boy Scout, whatever. I don't know which is which, but you know what I'm talking about. And I was always kind of jealous of those guys. Sure, they had to wear the dorky uniform, and we used to beat them up for that once in a while. But they were learning and experiencing so much cool stuff, and savior jokes about molestation at this moment. I was jealous of those guys. I wish I would have gotten involved in that.
I did it for a couple of years, and then we were on went down to the lake at the elementary school to go fishing, not just off the dock, off the side of the lake.
Did you fall in or something?
No, but my idiot friend was just wailing his rod around, whipped it back.
Oh, okay.
Right into my hand. The hook. I got hooked. I got hooked real bad. And then
I got distracted when you said your idiot friend was wailing his rod.
You got the barb in there and everything?
Yeah, got it in there, and I just kind of said, yeah, I think I'm done with Boy Scouts. I just want to play sports.
My sister did that to me. Yeah.
Hooked you?
Yeah, she hooked me
It's
pretty
not fun.
good. Yeah, I ripped a pretty good chunk out of my forearm.
Dude, one of the greatest days of my fishing career with my dad is when he completely impaled his thumb with a Rapala. Barb was all the way through. That was awesome. It was awesome. He had it coming.
Probably.
Nick, I know you're busy, but I'd love it if you'd read the text from You Pick 'Em Up, You Dropped 'Em, Jesus.
Oh, man, the text messages are rolling here like
I'll
my
print
name
it for
was
you. Yeah, I
James
set it aside
Brolin.
here.
You did? Oh.
Yeah, we were talking about this band that, for whatever reason, thought it'd be hilarious to drop off a cake laced with marijuana.
We're a wild rock band. We're going to make it, they said.
And Nick mentioned correctly that we won because the band amounted to nothing.
Yes.
Right at the end of it. So I'm waiting for this text.
Okay, you want me to read this?
Yeah, don't pre-read it.
All right, I'm just going to read it out loud.
Read it out loud.
I'm not going to be suspended?
No.
Nick, was the band Nickelback?
That's not nice.
Hey.
You know Nick's a fake fan.
Those guys are amazing.
You mean that band that just sold out the X a few nights ago? You prick. Now, according to a story from right here in town, speaking of inmates escaping from this, that, an inmate attempted to escape the prison they've got built down there in Faribault. But the sumbitch got all wrapped up in that razor wire. And eventually they hauled his ass back into the old Stony Lonesome.
I wonder if Janelle knows him.
Janelle knows.
She does. She hangs out with a rough crowd.
Word is he made it smooth over the interior fence, but then that razor wire took a big bite out of his ass, and that was all she wrote.
I saw a guy take some barbed wire to a leg, and that didn't look good.
That stuff hurts.
I'd imagine the razor wire's worse.
Prison staff had to get out the Leatherman or something to cut him loose. That's how my dad got that barb out of his thumb. He pulled the Leatherman out his pocket while I was laughing my ass off. This guy was all right, I guess, if you care. He didn't get too badly shredded. A few hours later, he's right back in his cell, thinking, son of a bitch. We got another story of animals battling each other to the death. Kind of like yesterday's story, which was
insane.
Insane story yesterday. about a fight between a hawk and a snake where a lady from Texas got caught up in the middle of it. If you didn't hear it yesterday, look it up on our replay gimmick. What's that thing people can listen to past shows? What do you call it?
They call it a podcast.
Podcast. If you didn't know that story, we told it yesterday. One of the greatest stories ever. Today, the animal matchup is this. It's a monkey versus a dog.
All right. This could be fun.
I'll go ahead and tell you now, this story isn't anywhere near as dramatic as the hawk and the snake.
That'd be tough to beat.
There's not much information here, so you might just need to use your imaginations. This scene took place in a town called Houston, Texas. The local cops had to rescue a monkey out from under a pickup truck after they got a call about a vicious animal. Lucky-ass witnesses said that the monkey kind of came out of nowheres and dumped a forearm into the jaw of an unsuspecting human while they were just trying to eat a plate of loaded nachos at a roadside restaurant. And the monkey executed a textbook RKO on that person once they were dazed by the Actually, all it says here is that the monkey, quote, nicked someone. A monkey running around Houston, Texas. I don't know how common that is, but the monkey, quote, nicked someone. I'm not sure what that means. But what I do know is once that monkey slapped this person or whatever it did, a heroic dog raced onto the scene and attacked the monkey.
Did you guys see the video of the dog chasing the bear that's kind of been going around the internet?
I haven't seen that
Did
one,
we
no.
post that on 93x.com?
Yes, we did.
You got to see this thing, Nick.
Oh, I used to watch my dogs chase bears all the time up north in northern Minnesota when we were in high school. But yes, I saw the video. It's funny.
It is funny. Little kid, 4 years old. He's out there, but walking back to his house, grabbing his baseball bat or wiffle ball bat, and this bear comes out of nowhere, being chased by their dog. That dog wanted to kill the bear.
Dude.
It's protecting his family.
Oh, I'm going to kill the bear.
Say it.
I'm going to kill the bear.
Say it.
I'm going to kill the bear.
Have you guys watched The Edge yet?
Yep.
You have, Wapple?
Mm-hmm. What's it on?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can.
I don't know. Now I don't want to talk about it.
Why?
It's on Prime Video for $3.29.
I would pay them $300.29 to watch that movie again. It's so good.
Say I'm gonna kill the bear! Say it!
I'm gonna kill the bear.
Say it again!
I'm gonna kill the bear.
And again! I'm gonna kill the bear! Good. What one man can do, another can do.
What one man can do, another can do.
Say it again!
What one man can do, another can do.
And again!
What one man can do, another can do.
Yeah, you're damn right. Today, I'm gonna kill the motherfucker.
That was cool.
Everything about that movie from start to finish is cool. A heroic...
with one exception.
What?
How many times they say the character named Charles, played by Anthony Hopkins, do not have a drinking game where you take a drink every time they say Charles, you will die.
That is difficult to take.
It's weird.
It is difficult to take at times when I rewatch The Edge, which I've probably watched 150 times in my life. I know where you're coming from. So this dog races onto the scene and attacks the monkey, and word is the dog tuned the monkey up pretty good. When the cops found the monkey under the pickup, he wasn't in very good monkey shape. The dog cleaned that monkey out, something fierce. The monkey was captured by animal control and taken away. Cops are trying to sort out who owns the monkey. Folks in town say the monkey belongs to someone down the street.
Would be kind of cute having a monkey, but I bet it's a lot more work than I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be pretty excited, but I wouldn't want to clean up any of its messes.
There was like a rent-a-monkey programming. You would like take a monkey home for the weekend and hang out with them. That'd be kind of cool.
And they pull one of your eyebrows off and take it back to where you bought it from. When I was a kid, and I've told you this, Josh, my dad's fishing shack way up in northern Minnesota, especially in the late 80s, that area was just overrun by black bears, and we were very irresponsible and very reckless. We are very lucky, my pals and I, that one of us didn't get our guts torn out the way we would behave, taunting these bears and chasing them around on our mini bikes, and it was just idiotic. But I had, of course, the best girl in the whole world, our Springer Spaniel, Megan Marie, was always up at the fishing shack with us, and she was dating a dog from the neighborhood named Zach. He was a golden retriever.
That's cute.
They were the hottest couple on the trail, on the Ash River Trail. And Megan Marie and Zach would always be running buck wild around the woods, and they would chase bears. But there was one night where we were all convinced they were friggin' goners. We were sitting around the fire pit, and it wasn't totally out of the ordinary at all for a black bear to walk right by us. Well, Megan Marie and Zach, being defensive of us and our property, they chased this friggin' bear, which, again, like I said, wasn't unusual. But here's what we watched play out, and tell me how you'd react. We watched them chase this bear into an open garage.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, the bear's trap, that's trouble.
Mm-hmm. And that's where all of us collectively puckered up and thought, oh, no, this is the last thing. And these dogs, they were such sweet dogs. They weren't fierce in any way, although they could be. You know, a lot of dogs, they'll show a side that you don't often see. But it was straight out of a cartoon. The bear goes into the garage. Megan Marie and Zach are hot on its tail. And then you hear all hell break loose, like cartoon noises of things. Everything being knocked over. And then the dogs come running out with the bear chasing them. And you could see the looks on the dogs' faces as if they were thinking, that was a friggin' mistake right there.
This took a turn.
Yeah.
Shockmaster Jesus said his cat caught a bird. The other birds freaked out, were dive-bombing the cat as the cat ran home to safety. The dog saw the birds attacking his cat as he ran home, and the dog raced up to chase the birds away, and he said it was epic.
That sounds incredible, man. You're just sitting there with a beer thinking, I'm a lucky sumbitch right here, watching this play out. Dogs, birds, cats. All right. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, and I've been drinking a lot this week. I apologize for my behavior. Before we go, another one of these dumbbells. Oh, Josh, in China, some dork stuffed 14 snakes into his pockets to try to smuggle them through customs. We get a lot of these stories from faraway parts of the world where, for whatever reason, it's like hip. It's popular to smuggle snakes and rats and bugs, and I don't get it.
I wonder if there's not as much security as there is here. Maybe they can get away with it more, so it's worth trying.
Agents noticed that this man was looking nervous and avoiding eye contact with them. I'd be nervous, too, if I had a herd of snakes that had that kind of access to my backyard.
Sir, you're hissing a lot. What? Can you explain that?
They asked him to empty his pockets. He's got 14 snakes wrapped up in tube socks. Live snakes. There's video of this. 3 of them were ball pythons, fitting in a way. I know. The others, Wapple, were cobra! I'm kidding. There weren't any cobras. No cobras. I don't know what they were. What are you in jail for? Snakes.
Snakes in my pocket.
Me too.
I had snakes in my pocket.
There you go. Lick the ball.
That's right.
What did he say?
Lick the ball.
Oh, my God. The ball?
Lick the ball.
There you go. Lick the ball.
I'll be damned. We'll be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Listen, I forgot to tell you the plan for this Saturday. You, me, bar, beers, buzzed, wings, shots, drunk, waitresses hot, football, then quick nap at my place, and we hit the T-Sound.
Weekend! With that. Oh. That's a riff right there. That's how you do it, Cubby.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'm going to give you a quick little sports update, and then we'll move on with our lives. But first, a text message really grabbed me here. We've had these great fighting animal stories this week in the stupid news. The snake versus the hawk. Are those pictures still up on our website of that poor lady who got caught in the middle of it?
Yeah.
God help us. If you didn't hear the story, just real quick, if you didn't hear the story yesterday, a lady's messing around in her backyard. A snake falls from the sky and wraps around her arm. And she's thinking, what the living hell? And then the hawk, because the hawk dropped the snake, and then the hawk comes back for the snake, and the snake and the hawk are fighting on this woman's arm. She didn't ask for this. The snake at the same time is trying to kill her. It tore her arm to shreds. The pictures are unbelievable. It's one of the greatest stories ever told. And now, just a minute ago, I talked a little bit about a monkey versus a dog. The dog won. I got this text message from a listener who says, one day I got to watch a hawk and a crow fighting.
Oh, that'd be fun.
In the sky.
In the sky, that makes it even better.
And he says, I was so enthralled by all of this, I crashed my bicycle into a garden and I gashed my face open on a decorative brick.
Oh, man.
What turn of events.
I wonder if he's still, with the broken bones and the blood, still tried to watch the end of the hawk and the crow fighting in the... Or maybe he lost consciousness altogether.
Anybody watch Hard Knocks yet with the Jets?
No. Never saw it.
I watched episode 1 yesterday, and their coach, Robert Saleh, made a reference to how a eagle and a crow fight. So it's all coming together here. You guys might like that story.
Man. Go Jets, by God, right?
Totally.
Well, damn, their 4-game series, the Twins just wrapped up in Detroit. It started off right, and then it turned into a swift kick in the bag. The Tigers won 3 straight, including yesterday, where, again, the Twins lineup went quietly. Tigers won 3-0. They got shut out twice in this series. Just 2 hits yesterday for the Twins. A nice start by my homeboy, Kenta Maeda. Went for nothing. Rookie pitcher by the name of Riley Green handled the Twins. So, that's where it is. A listener texted earlier and said, Jesus balls, these friggin' Twins. They can't beat the Tigers. They can't beat the Royals. And I texted back, yeah, but get ready. We're headed for the playoffs. Tonight they start a series in Philadelphia. Dallas Keuchel making his second start for the Twins. We'll get into all of this. We're going to go up and down about all of this, aren't we, Josh, when who are those guys again?
Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder?
When they show up. But first, we got to get to Josh's news coming up next.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace or AC is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
For over 3 decades, nobody has had a wrestling career like Arn Anderson. Conrad Thompson gets all the stories with Arn.
After watching AEW's Double or Nothing, Amy wants to know, what does dinosaur taste like?
It ain't chicken. It's like biting into a sinewy charcoal briquette. But chewy.
Oh, wow, that's disgusting.
Yes, sure is.
Check out Arn every week, wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
It's terrible. It's scary. I mean, this is a nice area.
Pretty alarming because there's, as far as I know, not a lot of crime in this area, and particularly not a lot of violent crime.
We don't hear this too often. A 70-year-old woman was arrested Tuesday after police near Philadelphia said she used a 16-inch blade hidden in her walking cane to stab a dude.
Hey!
Around 1:30 a.m. June 10th, officers from the Lower Marion Township Police Department were called for a stabbing at an intersection. There, they found a victim, 31-year-old Michael Sides, bleeding from his upper torso. Dan Rogers, one of Sides' friends, told detectives that Sides was sucker punched earlier in the night by a mutual friend, later identified as Jason DiPietro. During the altercation, the victim was preventing Jason from getting into a car when his parents, Renee and Michael DiPietro, got out. Rogers saw Renee lunge toward the victim, causing him to fall to the ground, bleeding with what appeared to be a black cane that fell apart. She then struck the victim while he was still on the ground. Following the stabbing, Rogers stated the female attempted to remove the license plate from the vehicle, and the older male, the female, and Jason DiPietro departed from the scene. A few hours later, detectives went to their home in Philadelphia where the family claimed it was self-defense. He came looking for trouble, and he got it, Michael said. Renee turned herself in Tuesday. Again, she's 70 and has a court hearing later this month.
Some kind of blade camouflaged in a cane.
Yeah, like something you'd see out of a James Bond movie.
That sounds like it would be painful.
Yeah, very, very much so.
And surprising.
I wouldn't expect that either. An elderly woman in Alabama was found covered in grass stains and badly injured after her son tried running her over with not one, but 2 separate lawnmowers. 29-year-old Philip Brennan was arrested Monday after a neighbor called 911 about hearing a disturbance on their block. The Morgan County Sheriff's Office said when they arrived, they found the woman, believed to be his mom, complaining of injuries. Police said they were told Brennan initiated the attack on his mother, smacking her with a shovel and then running her over her feet with a push mower before he next mounted the family's riding mower.
Hoo-wee.
Police allege Brennan then struck his mom with the riding mower and dragged her behind him across the yard, making perfect lawn stripes. Brennan, as he should be, is facing several charges.
And the neighbor said they heard a disturbance?
Yeah,
Is that how they
some
put
sort
it?
of commotion.
I bet that sounded like something. Screaming and lawnmowers and shovels off craniums. That would it would sound like something you'd probably never forget.
A man was charged after stabbing his mom, stealing a garbage truck, then crashing into a hot tub business on Dolly Parton Parkway in Tennessee.
He was highly on drugs and they stole kind of like a garbage car. It was just like, wow, what happened? People are so crazy.
Yes, they are. Officials said stabbing and carjacking suspect, 49-year-old Sean White, not the snowboarder, was hospitalized. Wouldn't that be something? Was hospitalized Monday after crashing a garbage truck into a building on Dolly Parton Parkway following a police chase. While driving with his mom, White became agitated for some reason and stabbed her in the hands. He then drove off in her Nissan. A short time later, her Nissan was found crashed, but White had left the scene before officers arrived. At some point after the crash, he flagged down a garbage truck, got into the cab, held the driver at knife point, and forced him to continue driving. White, who has a lengthy criminal record, stabbed the driver before the driver ultimately jumped out of the moving vehicle. The suspect then took control of the garbage truck and continued driving, reportedly hitting several cars along the way. A few minutes later, police successfully deployed spike strips near a Hardee's. The truck crashed into two Tennessee hot tubs is the name of the business, on Dolly Parton Parkway just before 7:10 a.m., and the sheriff's office took custody of the dirtbag. Both White's mother and the garbage truck driver suffered non-life-threatening injuries.
I bet it'd be kind of fun ramming stuff with a garbage truck.
I bet that'd be a lot of fun, ramming stuff with a garbage truck.
Especially if you have that big one that picks up the dumpster cans, so then you kind of got like swords in front of the truck.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can just,
or you can
flip cars.
Yeah, pick stuff up.
Heck yeah.
That would be pretty sweet. That'd be awesome. A 33-year-old Tennessee man stole an ambulance, hit a pedestrian, and crashed into multiple vehicles Wednesday night. It's crazy in Tennessee.
Who are all these wild cards?
Memphis police responded to a call about a stolen Crittenden County ambulance at the Children's Hospital around 7:40 p.m.
He started waving his arms to get the guy to stop, and then he realized the guy wasn't stopping. It was probably going, 50, 60 miles an hour, just blew through that intersection.
In a statement posted on Facebook, Crittenden EMS said a man stole the vehicle from the ambulance bay while crews were inside the hospital. After the ambulance was stolen, the man struck a pedestrian.
The ambulance kind of hit him on the side, and he spun and then fell on the ground. I was pleased to see that there was quite a few people that immediately rushed over to help.
The suspect then fled the scene in a stolen ambulance and hit several vehicles in the process, Cactus Jack.
Bang, bang.
The pedestrian and one other person were injured in that ordeal. An Oregon man was cleaning his gun Tuesday night when he accidentally shot himself in the leg.
Oh!
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Can't get much worse. He drove himself to the hospital, but then lost consciousness and crashed into a pillar. Oh, it can get. I got to pre-read these. It can get worse. The man's friend, who accompanied him to the hospital and called 911, told officers the pair had been shooting handguns earlier in the day and returned to the injured man's apartment. He said they were drinking bourbon and cleaning their weapons when the man accidentally depressed the trigger and fired a round into his own left thigh. On his way to the hospital, he passed out, crashed into the hospital. Police say an investigation of that incident is continuing.
Wait, so he had a buddy with him and his buddy wasn't the one that drove?
That's right. He was too drunk. The other guy was just kind of drunk, but he was bleeding out.
Oh, okay.
Listen, man, I'll ride with, but I'm not driving.
A misunderstanding over a text message led to an unfortunate situation with police in Pennsylvania. A woman was texting a friend about her health issues while awaiting surgery to both her hips, including a hip replacement. She struggled to walk and climb stairs, which led to some pooping of the pants when she couldn't make it to the toilet in time. She meant to text her friend, "I think I just S'd myself," but instead the text autocorrected to erroneously say, "I think I just shot myself." Unfortunately, this led to a police response and then eventually a lawsuit as the woman made several allegations regarding what she called an overreaction by police when they arrived, amongst other claims. Also in Pennsylvania, a 66-year-old man was convicted Tuesday of committing an armed robbery of a smoke shop. He made off with $3,000, a cigarette lighter, 2 cartons of cigarettes, and a large pack of condoms. He was ready to party. That's pretty much the story, but what makes it better is the mug shot. It's not the best you've ever seen, but a nice time waster on the toilet at work today. You can see the booking photo on 93x.com.
This guy's...
I don't like the photo. It's scary.
He's a real cutie pie?
Yeah, it's kind of he's got a look. He's got a look. Weather permitting, the Minnesota Department of Transportation will close a portion of 35W in Bloomington and Richfield for the weekend. MnDOT plans to close the southbound lanes between 62 and 106th Street and northbound lanes between 494 and Highway 62. The work will take place from 10 p.m. tonight to 5 a.m. Monday. At least that's the schedule so far. Northbound 35W also closed from 1 to 5 a.m. tomorrow and Sunday between 106th Street and 494. The closures were to have happened last weekend, but MnDOT rescheduled for this weekend when last weekend's forecast called for rain. Might be the same today, though. As for new music this week, in 2020, guitar virtuoso George Lynch reteamed with former Dokken bandmate Jeff Pilson for a new set of recordings which turned pop classics into powerful metal anthems.
Is that right?
Dubbed Heavy Hitters, the album was well received by rock and metal fans across the board. Now the duo have a follow-up called Heavy Hitters 2 out today with another barrage of supercharged cover songs, including Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer, the Rolling Stones' Jumpin' Jack Flash, and Imagine Dragons' Radioactive. It's a slow week in new releases, but next week you can expect a new one from Atreyu, as well as Slipknot's Live at MSG on vinyl for the very first time. In local music news, the Challenger Disaster Conspiracy has an album release show tonight at the Underground Cafe. They'll be performing with The Right Here and Linus. The CDC's new album is called City Pages 2023 Band of the Year. I love it.
Oh, that's funny.
Based on a true story, it's good. Gran Turismo is now in theaters. The movie tells the real-life story of a teenage Gran Turismo player whose gaming skills won a series of competitions to become an actual pro race car driver. The movie stars David Harbour, Digimon Hanasu, and Orlando Bloom.
That sounds cool.
It does.
Yeah, the trailer looks pretty badass.
Gal Gadot and Jamie Dornan star in the new action-filled Netflix original movie Heart of Stone, available today. Rachel Stone is an MI6 elite agent who also happens to be a member of another secret organization, unbeknownst to her colleagues. Anthony Anderson and Cedric the Entertainer head out on a culinary adventure across America in order to discover the best techniques, flavors, and traditions as they work together to start their own barbecue empire in Kings of Barbecue, airing tomorrow on A&E. Then on Sunday, Telemarketers debuts on HBO. A docuseries about the unexpected 20-year journey of two unlikely office buddies who learn the truth behind the work they've been doing at a seedy call center and vow to expose the telemarketing industry. One other note for the weekend, today marks the Peacock streaming debut of Wes Anderson's Asteroid City, a retro sci-fi tale of a UFO/alien sighting in a 1950s desert town, starring a lot of big stars like Tom Hanks, Scarlett Johansson, Margot Robbie, Jeff Goldblum, Steve Carell, Edward Norton, Bryan Cranston, and Jason Schwartzman. How is this going to make any money? That is a huge cast. Sebastian Stan, the Winter Soldier in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, 41 on Sunday. Tomorrow, Casey Affleck, 48. Today, Chris Hemsworth, Thor in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, 40. Joe Rogan, 56. And Hulk Hogan, 70 today, brother. We wanted to take a moment and send some support to Covered in Metal Jesus, a podcaster who's gotten some tough news recently. We're just letting you know we're all pulling for you and appreciate your kind email. Got a text from Spaceship Superstar Jesus who wanted to shout out to the Mayo Clinic for taking great care of his son, Cash Money. That rules. And also, he said there was a guy there wearing a Jordan Max T-shirt with his son.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know she had.
Yeah,
she had
she's got
T-shirts.
merch. I think you can buy it on her website.
So she's been our regular porn star guest for what? A year?
Yep.
And we had no idea.
I didn't know she had
She told
T-shirts.
us a couple times.
Did she really?
Yep. we said that we wanted some like coffee mugs and stuff. Like she should look into doing different things too.
Wow, interesting. Well, get well soon, Cash Money. Double D, Sheezus, and the gals. We're looking for a shout out for Courtney's bachelorette party this weekend. Let's go, girls, she said. Shout out to Mitch on his engagement. North 40 Transport Jesus got Mitch a present for the occasion. He said it's a little lockbox for his future wife to keep his balls in. Happy 27th birthday to Gwendolyn, listening from the Philippines this morning. Proud dad, King Nothing Trucker Jesus, sent in a happy 25th to his son this Sunday. On a personal note, I wanted to say happy birthday to my brother Damon from your big brother and hero, me. Finally, the Mall of America is turning 31 today, which means we also need to say happy 31st to hours older than MOA Jesus. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
I think that he has kind of a sick mind.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
I came to the U.S. only for those few months because I came middle of January, and I knew I was leaving right after the season. And so my year one, I just had a rental car. And of course, the players are always killing me when I drove up to practice or they're playing, and they were like, what are you doing? It was just like a little car. We're getting into April and May because the season was obviously shifted, and it was getting hot out. I'll come to the games and I'll be sweating, and guys are like, what are you doing? I walk in the locker room sweating a bit, and they were like, why are you sweating? I was like, well, it's super hot. I drove with the window down. Somebody actually came to the car and said, see this AC button there? You have to actually push that in, and then the AC comes on. I was like, oh, I was wondering how that worked.
Oh, hot, 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 hot. Yeah, we're pretty pumped. It's Friday. This is it for us. Gonna brawl eventually. Dad Fights 100 plus 40 is on the way. Here are the pugilists involved. Randy Shaver. Hello, Randy.
Good morning.
And Brad Ryder.
Good morning.
Yeah, what's going on? You looking forward to the weekend?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
I love a good story about the German Moses. That was his voice you heard there in the intro. What the hell is he doing these days? Anyone know? Dirk Nowitzki?
That's a good question.
Don't know. He might be doing some stuff for the Mavericks. I'm not sure.
Man.
Like working in the front office.
I mean, what a wonderful, wonderful ball player he was for so many years there in the National Basketball Association. I just hadn't thought about him in a long time, the German Moses. He was talking there about how he didn't know how to use his air conditioner in his rental car when he first came to the States as a rookie in the NBA. He'd drive, I mean, he's in Dallas, Texas, for God's sake. It's 115 degrees down there. He's driving into practice. He's walking into the locker room pouring sweat.
That would be brutal. I mean, you could just, like, Google it.
Pardon me?
You could just, like, Google it.
Well, this was, I don't know if there was a Google when Dirk Nowitzki was a rookie in the NBA. I don't know. I don't follow those things, but... And his buddies, his teammates had to get in his rental car. Number one, he had a rental car. You know, everyone else is driving, like he said, everyone else is driving Mercedes and Hummers and whatnot. He's got some puke bag rental car. He had to have his teammates show him, you push this button. It's air conditioning. You don't have to drive around with the windows rolled down when it's 109 degrees out. He's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
Was it you and I, Josh, that saw him at that steakhouse in Minneapolis?
Yep. That was awesome. You know, I'm wondering, I kind of got the impression, listening to him talk about it, that he knew there was air conditioning but didn't know he had to press the button. That was kind of what I thought. He saw the air conditioning and just didn't know it wasn't on.
Interesting. He talked about growing up in Germany. They didn't, I think he says something about how they just, maybe they didn't have air conditioning in the cars, or if they did, they never used it. It never got terribly hot where he grew up. But yeah, many years ago, Josh and I were at, don't tell me, J.D. Hoyt's.
J.D. Hoyt's, yep.
And sitting there at the table, dining across the room from us, was the German Moses, Michael Finley.
Oh, sure.
Who was, these were a handful of members of the Dallas Mavericks during that time period. And there was, who was the coach at the time? I believe it was the coach. Was it Don Nelson?
Don Nelson,
It could have been, yeah, well, I don't think so, because if it would have been Don Nelson, I really would have wet my pants. I don't, but anyway, it was certainly the German Moses and Michael Finley. Those guys were both great players. And what I also remember about it is the valet kids were really legitimately about ready to lose their minds.
They were pumped.
Yeah. I mean, Josh and I were like, hey, that's the German Moses and friggin' Michael Finn. But the valet kids were absolutely pumped.
Was it Rick Carlisle?
That's it. Well, I can't be sure, but I think it was Rick Carlisle. Yeah. Maybe someone can look it up.
I think he only had 2 coaches the entire time he was in the league.
Yeah,
so
when
it was one of those 2.
Don Nelson, Avery Johnson, and Rick Carlisle.
Okay, 3.
Rick friggin' Carlisle, who looks way more like Jim Carrey than I think a lot of folks give him credit for.
He looks more like Jim Carrey than Jim Carrey does.
Yes, he friggin' does. So there you go. We're going to brawl here soon, but we got some other things to cover. I don't know. I don't often like to dump guarantees out there, Josh, but I almost want to guarantee a good time with this week's Dad Fights.
Oh, it's so fun.
I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this one, and now we'll probably blow it. Well, while we're talking about, since we started.
As long as everybody has a good sense of humor, it's going to be a lot of fun.
I think that's exactly.
Oh, boy.
No. You two don't need to be nervous at all. You misunderstood that statement. Neither one of you need to be nervous.
People listening.
You personally don't need to be nervous, Randy, and I lost the other guy's name.
That's Brad. Yeah, we've known him for a very
James.
long time. You get tickets from him quite often, Brad.
James.
If our listening audience has a sense of humor, certain members of our listening audience, if they keep a sense of humor, then we're going to be all right. But since we were starting off with basketball, I'd forgotten all about this deal. NBA Executive Vice President, Head of Basketball Operations, Joe Dumars. You want to talk about great players?
Yep.
Joe Dumars announced a day or two ago that A5 from Day 5, Anthony Edwards, has been fined $50,000 for that chair swinging incident he had in the playoffs in Denver.
Weak.
Stupid, yeah. Absolutely
that's
weak.
That's really weak.
It is weak.
That was not what it was said it was. I didn't phrase that correctly, but people made that out to be way worse than it was.
Yes, I agree.
It took a long time to rule on this because they were waiting on, I can't remember what they were waiting on in order to handle this possible discipline or fine.
Well, if they were waiting for more video proof, I don't think that ever showed up, did it?
That wasn't it, Randy. It was some kind of boring league industry stuff. It wasn't anything directly involving the incident in Denver where Anthony Edwards comes off the court and he's pissed and he kind of threw a chair aside. And of course,
he didn't even really throw it.
Right.
He kind of spun it and then set it down.
Right. But of course, you know how we are today. Now, a lady gets.
She got hurt by it.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the issue.
The breeze that he created by swinging the chair strained her emotions, and she was going to sue him for.
So stupid.
I've got an emotion strain.
Right. And even the verbiage here pisses me off. The league's review of this matter was deferred. Oh, here's why it took so long. The league's review of this matter was deferred until after the criminal investigation. No. There was actually a criminal investigation into this. I hope it took 30 seconds, you idiots.
It didn't look like he had any intent to hit anybody with that.
Of course he didn't. I wanted to make sure I had both Brad and Randy's full attention before I brought this up. Were both of you listening?
Sure.
Shaquille O'Neal announced that his 10-track dubstep album is going to be released on August 18th.
Well, fantastic.
I love that guy. I don't know what he just said, but I liked it.
Yeah, he lost me pretty quick there, but
Brad, cool. It's Shaquille O'Neal's new dubstep record.
Yep.
I like dubstep. Although, isn't it called something different now, Waffle?
People still call it that.
I'm going to show my dad
EDM
age.
music,
What is dubstep?
Brad, let me do my imitation of what I understand to be dubstep, because I'm totally out of the loop on this. But let me just give you an idea of what to expect. Burp, skeet, burp, burp, skeet. Am I close? Okay, who the hell is that? That's beautiful.
I forgot where we got that.
That's great.
Yeah, dubstep's like a subgenre, so it'd be like calling something metalcore, but it could still be rock.
Oh, for God's sake.
All right, I'm going to piss off our podcast editor, and I'm sorry to the podcasters that you won't be able to hear this, but here's an example. Have you heard that kind of thing before?
Yeah, so in other words, all 10 songs on his track sound alike, probably.
Could be.
Yeah.
You're not going to get through all 10, Brad. You'll have an aneurysm and drop down to a knee, I think, after. How the hell did anyone listen to that?
I think it's kind of cool, but yeah, extended listening might be tough.
I love Shaquille O'Neal, but I don't think I'll be lining up to buy his dubstep. Randy Shaver, degenerate gambler that you are, I thought you'd take an interest in this. Somebody went ahead and wrote a book about Phil Mickelson.
I saw that yesterday. Wow.
Fig Jam is the nickname. Has everyone heard that before?
No, I haven't, no.
No.
Phil Mickelson's nickname is Fig Jam, and that stands for F, I'm good, just ask me.
Yep.
Now, Phil Mickelson's right up there with guys like Charles Barkley and that relentless prickbag Michael Jordan.
I would say he surpasses both of them.
Well, what I mean by that is they love to gamble.
Yes, but he takes it to a whole new level.
According to this cat who wrote a book about Fig Jam, this individual's name is Billy Walters. Phil Mickelson has allegedly lost $100 million in the past 30 years gambling. And he has wagered close to $1 billion. Those freaking guys really get paid that kind of money to play golf?
Well, no, it's more about the advertisers or the
his endorsements.
The endorsements that he has. He probably takes in, I think I read, $250 million or something.
That's
He's
crazy.
taken in endorsements. So.
And then he got a whole wheelbarrow full of money when he joined Live, too.
Tell me that's not the reason why he joined Live.
Oh, I know it was.
100%.
You know it was, too.
I never followed that Live scandal, and I don't want to get into it. But
well, I mean, you get paid a salary. It's not based on your winnings in a tournament necessarily. So he gets paid to show up and play.
All right.
And he just, as Brad said, he got a truckload of money. Tell me that wasn't part of the deal for him.
You know, the only Live that me and Wapple are interested in is what? Dump it on him, Wapple.
Liv Morgan?
Liv Morgan.
Oh, beautiful.
Word. All right,
He
so
supposedly got $200 million just to join. That's not even his salary. That was like a signing bonus kind of a thing.
Yeah.
$200 million just to join the tour.
$200 million. So this Billy Walters said that at one point or another, Phil Mickelson wanted to place a $400,000 wager on the U.S. golf team to win the something or another.
The Ryder
Cup. And then this individual said, what are you, nuts? Don't you read the papers? Don't you know what happened to Pete Rose? You can't place a bet on your own team. And Fig Jam backed down. But then one day, an example here.
Just to finish that story, though, he didn't know if Mickelson actually made that bet or not somewhere else.
Oh, sure.
And the U.S. lost, in a historic loss to the Europeans in the Ryder Cup by, I think, like a half a point.
So he would have lost all that.
That's correct. They were winning big and fell apart on the final day and lost.
You're right, Randy. I should have mentioned that. Thank you.
He lost his last match as well that day.
The dude, Billy Walters, Fig Jam called Billy Walters and said, make that bet for me. Walters said, don't do it. Remember Pete Rose. But you're right. Walters doesn't know if Fig Jam might have made that bet through somebody else. So maybe he did make that bet. We don't know, right?
That's correct. The two of them partnered together. And a lot of people will do this. They partner together, each in a little bit different circles and using different companies to bet with. So they would work together. This is one bet, though, that he said I would not make with Phil Mickelson.
There was another day, just a single day in June of 20+11. Phil Mickelson made 43 different wagers on Major League Baseball games, and he lost $143,000.
He must not be a very good bettor.
So speaking of that day, there's a Twitter account called Twins Ribbies. He looked up, and they looked up to see what the Twins did, and said, sounds like the guy didn't bet on Nishioka to hit an RBI for the Twins, because Nishioka had an RBI that day.
I loved watching him play here.
Mickelson sent out a tweet. I saw this on Twitter last night. That he denied betting on the Ryder Cup, but he basically admitted a lot of the other stuff. I mean, he said I've had a gambling problem. I've admitted it. He said I'm getting treatment for it. I mean, so he basically admitted a lot of the other stuff, but he vehemently denied the Ryder Cup accusation.
All right, then.
I think I'll believe the other guy. Sorry.
Well, speaking of baseball, the Twins, that 4-game series ended up. The 4-game series in Detroit ended up being kind of a kick in the ass.
Well, especially the last 2 games.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the problem they were having, a couple of months ago. Couldn't score any runs. And then you go up against a Detroit team that obviously has been struggling during the course of this year, and you get shut out 2 games in a row. And yesterday only managed 2 hits against Reese Olson. Who's this guy? I mean,
I thought his name was Riley Green.
No, that's the DH for them who hit the home run.
You see, the star-studded Detroit Tigers were not altogether sure on their roster. They got shut out back-to-back games, only 2 hits. They lose 3-0. Kente had a nice start.
Yeah, it was a quality start. He only gave up 1 earned run in 6 innings, and that was the home run to Green. Otherwise, he was good. But it's kind of the story that Sonny Gray's had, right? Every time Sonny Gray pitches, they have a hard time scoring runs.
We've seen a lot of this from the Twins this year. But yet they're still a first-place club, and I'm excited to watch them ruin somebody's life in the playoffs. I am. Maybe this is the year they just ruin somebody's friggin' life. Yeah.
They're doing their best to keep some people hanging around, though.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's going to be a close.
Detroit's only 7 back now.
This is the same thing that happened.
They're going to win the division.
This is the same thing that happened a year ago, and in September they just bottomed out.
They're going to win the division. Dallas Keuchel on the bump tonight in Detroit. No, what do you call that town? Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Against the Phillies.
At least they don't have to face Lorenzen.
Oh yeah, speaking of him. You want to hear a wacky-ass baseball statistic? So this Lorenzen cat wins, that's not how you say it, throws a no-hitter the other night.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus, my computer has completely...
In his first start with the Phillies in Philadelphia.
Hang on a second. I got to go old school here and get out a highlight pen.
Oh, boy.
Because my computer, I can't even read what I've printed off here. Okay. Lorenzen throws a no-hitter, right, for the Phillies. He went to high school at Fullerton Union High School in Fullerton, California. 4 pitchers and 4 pitchers only have played in the majors after attending Fullerton Union High School in Fullerton, California, and now all 4 have thrown a no-hitter at the big league level. That's effing crazy, right?
That's like 3 guys from St. Paul making it to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd compare it to that. And the problem is here, I printed this off and didn't notice at first that the names of these 4 guys who have thrown 4 no-hitters in the bigs from Fullerton, California, the names, Walter Johnson is one of them.
Yes.
Mike Warren is another, Michael Lorenzen, and Steve Busby.
And Bob Ross, there's 5.
There's 5? Not according to this. Bob Ross.
Sorry, Bob Ross.
Wasn't he that dude who would put on an afro and paint pictures on the internet?
Make a happy little cloud here and there.
Happy trees.
That's just it. So 4 pitchers.
You're right. 4.
That's bizarre.
That's crazy.
All right. You know how much I love the Why Your Team Sucks bit from, what's the website now, Josh? Defector. How many years have we been covering this now, Josh?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. 10?
A cat by the name of Drew McGarry always writes up these hilarious articles on Defector.com every year, picking on each and every National Football League team by creating an article called Why Your Team Sucks. Name the team. He's written an article on that team every year.
This is how I know that football's getting close. I love it.
I look for his stuff every day, waiting for the Vikings. I can't wait for the Vikings.
Yeah, we'll get to the Vikings when that shows up. But right now I have in my hand the Why Your Team Sucks New York Jets edition for 2023. For obvious reasons. Suddenly they're interesting because the gas bag has agreed to play quarterback there for a stretch of time. Every one of these articles starts with this simple statement. Some people are fans of the New York Jets, but many, many more people are not fans. This defector NFL team preview is for those in the latter group. Now, they start with the coach, Robert Saleh. He is the coach in name only. Your new head coach is Karen Rodgers, and he's already brought his guys with him, most notably this pud at offensive coordinator by the name of Nathaniel Hackett. I don't know anything about Nathaniel Hackett.
Well, he's the former Broncos coach that got run out of town.
But I just get a kick out of anyone being called a pud.
Haven't heard that one in a while.
Yeah.
Packers offensive coordinator before he got the Denver job last year.
That's why he and Rodgers are best buds.
The quarterback, it says him. Savor the flavor, Jets fans, the article says, because right now is as good as it will get. Karen Rodgers told the world via Pat McAfee that he was 90% ready to retire, then took a 4-day bath, then had a vision that he had to be a New York Jet. The Jets now get one of the most expensive headaches in the sport, but for the moment, life is good. Rodgers is the best quarterback these Jets have maybe ever had. So right now, everyone is orgasming rainbows all over the tri-state area.
Boy, and they are. If you watch Hard Knocks, that team is very excited about having him there.
Oh, sure.
And I got to say, he's a little more likable than I thought he'd be.
Yeah?
At least after one episode. We'll see how it goes.
We were somewhat excited when we got Brett Favre.
I would say so.
Yeah. Helicopters following the car from the airport.
Yeah.
There's a guy in a chicken suit outside Winter Park along with the fans waiting for him.
Right.
There's Karen hanging out at a Knicks playoff game. There he is wearing normal clothing to training camp instead of his usual Nick Cage cosplay. There he is taking a pay cut because he's the greatest teammate who ever lived. The article says, read no further if you don't want reality spoiled for you. But, of course, we're going to keep going because I love picking on the gas bag. Karen Rodgers was the 17th ranked quarterback in the league a season ago. He got eliminated from playoff contention by a Lions team that was even sicker of his BS than the Packers were. He had his worst passer rating as a starter last year. He didn't pass for 300 yards once. He was utterly lost without Davante Adams, and took it out on everyone still on the roster. His exit from Green Bay was an endless, debilitating affair that reduced nationwide life expectancy by 3 years. He collects nagging injuries like they're rare Pokemon cards. He can't go anywhere without his Randall Cobb. Oh, and he hasn't won a conference title in well over a decade, playing with his own foot up his ass in every playoff game since. The easy joke here is to remind you of Brett Favre's time in New York, but this is different, mostly because Brett could still play. They always close out every article with comments from Jets fans, and here are just a couple. One Jet says, the best quarterback we've had since Chad Pennington, and it's this a-hole? Yay. Another said, if the only Super Bowl the Jets win in my lifetime is with Karen effing Rodgers as quarterback, I suppose that's what I get for being a Jets fan.
Drew's a genius. He's such a good writer.
He really is.
And that plays in to where we're going. Back up. Give the fellas some room to start throwing haymakers. Wow, we got someone listening from Fullerton High School in Fullerton, California, class of 03. Isn't that interesting, everybody?
Is he a pitcher?
Yeah, is he throwing a no-no?
Let me ask him if he's an athlete. No, not an athlete.
All he's got to do is get to the big leagues, and he'll throw one, apparently.
His name is Out of My Vulcan Mind Jesus. What else did I have here in front of me? Oh, appreciate this. Skull Bitches Jesus texted in and said, he spit out his Powerade when I said the word pud. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right, it's Friday. Every Friday around this time, you can tune into this year radio program for a head-to-head trivia scrap between the two smartest men in town, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. And we're going to let her buck here in just a minute. You know, we're always looking for a fresh theme for our Dad Fights segment. We try our best to keep it interesting by switching up the theme or subject of our trivia questions for you, not only for you two fellas, but more importantly for our badass listening audience. As we've mentioned a few times already, in a little over a month, we're headed off to a party in Wisconsin for a couple days. Here's the info on that deal. It's our second annual Brotherhood Border Bash. I have such trouble with that title.
A lot of bees.
There are a lot of bees in there, Smashley. The second annual Brotherhood Border Bash, October 19th through the 21st, at a joint called St. Croix Casino, Turtle Lake. You can get on our website, 93x.com, book a trip, get your hotel room. The schedule of events go like this. Thursday night, we'll have a couple of cold ones in the sports book. Josh and I are already talking about making some bets on this or that.
Yeah, I got to do that this year. I got to it too late last year. That sports book is beautiful.
It's cool.
It's brand new, right? It's been there just a year or two now?
Something like that.
Or they renovated it?
You feel like a friggin' pimp just sitting in the joint.
It's awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah, it really
Comfortable
is.
spot, big TV.
All those TVs.
They got places to put your beer.
Food's good.
There's gorgeous women wandering.
I was ignored by a lot of those gorgeous women, and I still had a good time. That was fun.
Yeah. Another part of our schedule, Friday morning, a completely unnecessary live broadcast.
That part's dumb.
Friday afternoon, we're still working out the details of the Nick and Josh hotel room hot tub meet and greet.
First annual.
We ask, once we get all the details ironed out, we ask that you only bring in one item to be autographed.
Oh, my God.
At the Nick and Josh hotel room hot tub meet and greet. Yes, Brad Ryder?
Is this a VIP portion of the event?
Yeah, there's only collective few who are going to be.
Sure.
Friday night, we have something or another to eat, and then by Saturday, I guess, we gone. Sponsored by MinnesotaFatLoss.com and Stittsworth Meats. Look for those special room prices, courtesy of St. Croix Casino. Go to our website.
Yeah, and thanks for those that have already checked in saying they booked their rooms.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was a lot of fun last year.
So with all that in mind, you might think in the lead up to this trip that we'd try and make as many friends as we can over there in Wisco. If that's what you were thinking we'd do, you don't know this radio program. Today we've gone ahead and made Dad Fights 100 plus 40, the Wisconsin Sucks edition. We'll be quizzing you two superior Minnesotans. That's what you are. That's what we all are, superior citizens from Minnesota. We'll be quizzing you on the many, many times in mainly the sports world that Wisconsin has shown us just how much they effing suck. Like I said, these questions will mainly focus on sports-related suck jobs that Wisconsin has pulled off for our entertainment over the years. But be aware that there might be a couple questions in today's contest that steer away from sports, kind of like how we Minnesotans steer away from roadside rest stops in Wisconsin out of fear of forced molestation. We'll load you up with hints and information on an infamous moment from Wisconsin's vast history of sucking hard, and you'll want to shout out the answer that we're looking for.
Okay.
You know how we operate around here for Dad Fights. Be the first to answer correctly. Shout it out. If you're correct, you'll hear the bell. That means you've received 1 point. Are we doing something different with the incorrect answer? Anything? Were we going with the fart? Or anyone got any ideas? We had the burp last week.
Last time. How'd that go over?
You got any ideas over there, Wapples?
Waffle, you're the button guy.
Different you want to do?
I've got the fart loaded up.
Ah, right. He's got a fart loaded up.
You always do.
That's if you're incorrect.
I have to wait all week. I just let them build up just for this moment. Just for Dad Fights.
10 challenges plus a tiebreaker if necessary. This intro will likely suck because it comes from Unlucky in Wisco Jesus.
This is Unlucky in Wisco Jesus. From a super rural town called New Auburn, Wisconsin, land of the cows, cheese, and nothing else. Some ask me, why the nickname Unlucky in Wisco Jesus? 1, no feeling in my arm, and 2, the fact that it's been so long since I've been with the lady that I'll need Brad Ryder's sex ed class. Oh wait, sounds like Brad might be a little busy.
Brad is jacking off.
Oh!
Well, I guess I'll have to take Randy Shaver's golf cart scuba course. That doesn't sound too good. I don't swim either.
Help me! I can't swim! I'm drowning! I'm going to drown!
Well, everyone get ready for the best part of the sports section on Fridays. This is Dad Fights 140.
So again, listen closely, boys. We're quizzing you on the many, many times in mainly the sports world that Wisconsin has sucked. By the way, if you want to do an intro, send us an email, hams93x@gmail.com. Wapple needs your name. He needs your phone number. And then he'll call you on a landline.
Some 715ers are checking in. They're a little nervous about today's topic.
They're nervous?
A little bit. A couple of them are saying, you know what, just cancel the party. You're not allowed to cross state lines. You guys can't come to our state. We warned you earlier, this is biting. Some of Dana's best work for once. It was shaping up to be a hell of a party in Wisconsin, January 25th, 1998. The Packers finished the regular season 13-3, steamrolled the Bucks and the Niners.
Denver Broncos.
And the Niners in the playoffs, Brad. They were 11-point favorites to win their second straight Super Bowl. But the Denver Broncos ended the party before it began, thanks in large part to 3 rushing touchdowns from this Hall of Fame running back.
Terrell Davis.
Terrell Davis is the correct answer. The Packers had a combined 34 seasons with Hall of Famer Brett Favre and future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers on the roster, but even still, they could only muster 2 Super Bowls.
I see where you were going with that, Randy. I see how you are. You tried to jump in there.
Yep.
I get the feeling you're going to have to wait a while today.
Yeah, there's some details in each of these questions that you're going to want to pay attention to. Terrell Davis. Boy, that was a great game. Mm-hmm. What a great game that was to watch John Elway just stomp the guts out of those bastards.
There's a kid on our team, 5th grade basketball team, that was a huge Packer fan, and he didn't show up to practice the next Monday.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
He couldn't even make it to practice?
No, because he knew we were just going to absolutely destroy him.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was because he was too sad. He just knew that, like, let's maybe wait a week, it'll calm down a bit.
That's good.
Then I'll rejoin the team.
1-0 Brad Ryder. During his senior year at Burlington High School in Burlington, Wisconsin, Tony Romo showed signs that he would one day become a perpetual losing quarterback in the NFL by leading the Burlington Demons to a terrible 3-6 record. He lost his first 2 NFL career playoff games in 2006 and 2007, and a lot of Cowboy fans blamed it on his relationship with this famous
Jessica Simpson.
Famous pop star. Brad has 2 correct. Yes, Jessica Simpson. The analysis here tells me that Jessica Simpson has released 7 studio albums in her career, and coincidentally, 7 is the average age a Wisconsin resident receives their first minor consumption ticket.
Doesn't that seem like an odd pairing, Tony Romo and Jessica Simpson?
Well, yeah, he dated Carrie Underwood for a while, too.
Really?
That's
right. I didn't know that.
I forgot about that.
He had it going for a while.
Huh, I guess so.
I see where you're... Jessica Simpson and Carrie Underwood.
I think he ended up in a good place, too.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Where's he at now?
His wife is beautiful.
Just Google it.
Yeah.
Is it someone we know?
He's fine. No.
She's a TV anchor in Dallas.
Okay.
She used to be, what was it, Miss Missouri or something, too?
Oh. Yeah.
Candace Crawford is her name, and she now just got a new Instagram follower.
That didn't take long, did it?
You pervert. Most people know Wisconsin's state nickname is the Badger State, but it's also America's Dairyland. Well, Wisconsin sucks so bad, they can't even live up to their own state nickname. Sure, they can call themselves America's Dairyland, and sure, you will see some cows when driving down 94 past Cruisin' Chubby's. But according to a recent study, America's Dairyland is way down at 9th on the list for states with the most cattle, trailing this first-place state by a large margin. And we're the subject of the last... Texas is correct. And we're the subject of the last question. Tony Romo played pro football.
That's something right there, Brad Ryder.
More Danalysis here. Speaking of Texas, the Danalysis fun fact, did you know the Packers had a chance to go to their first Super Bowl in 28 years back in 1996, but then lost to the Dallas Cowboys 38-27 in the NFC Championship game? Well, it happened.
I remember that. Brad Ryder, was it your farming background that gained you an advantage there?
You're not going to get many farm questions past the farm boy.
Texas. The most cattle are in Texas. Okay.
You're also not going to see a lot of farm questions on dad fights either. So. Unfortunately. Yeah, glad you got that one.
Randy, we got so much good stuff. You got to make a game of this.
Well, it's rope-a-dope, so we'll be fine.
Right, here, that is true. You made an unbelievable comeback last week.
A couple, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if somehow Brad ends this early...
well, we'll keep going.
Well, no, but I have an idea. If somehow Brad wins this early, it will then be Brad versus Ashley for the remainder of the time.
Sure.
Is that okay, Ashley?
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm fine with that.
All right. 3-0, Brad.
She did live there for a while.
But Randy has made terrific comebacks. Here we go. It isn't just Packer football that finds ways to embarrass and disappoint the degenerates who call Wisconsin their home. The Wisconsin Badgers football team sure can hold their own in that department as well, like the time they managed to lose 3 straight Rose Bowls from 2011 to 2013. In chronological order, Wisconsin got their sorry asses kicked by Texas Christian University, the University of Oregon, and this university in California that has, of all things, an effing tree for a mascot.
Stanford.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
I heard Randy. The bell's a little weak today. I heard Randy answer correctly, Stanford. And he's on the board. Danalysis says Stanford is where John Elway went to college before going on, like we said, to beat the Packers in the aforementioned Super Bowl 32.
A little fun fact there.
That is, it's a wildly fun fact.
Ashley, breathe a sigh of relief. We might not need you.
Thank God.
There are only 6 current Major League Baseball teams who have never won a World Series. And would you believe the Brewers are one of them? The only time they made the Fall Classic was back in 1982 when they had a 3-2 lead over the St. Louis Cardinals before losing Games 6 and 7 at this iconic stadium.
Busch Stadium.
We got a ball game.
There's Randy again. Danalysis says this World Series was dubbed the Sud Series because the Cardinals were owned by Anheuser-Busch, and Milwaukee is the home of rival beer maker Miller Brewing, which is contrary to the popular belief. It got the nickname because every man, woman, and child in Wisconsin was drunk off their asses for all 7 games.
I remember that World Series like it was, by God, woo, yesterday. I actually drank in a bar in Milwaukee a few years ago and asked a bartender. He was older than the Hills. I asked him, were you tending bar during the 82 World Series? And he said, yes, I was, and it was the most out-of-control 7 days, whatever, 8 days that he'd ever seen in his entire life.
I loved that team. I might be able to tell you that entire lineup.
The Brew Crews?
Yeah.
Harvey's Wallbangers, as they called them?
Yep.
All right. Well, good for you that you go ahead.
Cecil Cooper was at first.
Sure.
Sal Bando was at third. Robin Yount was at short. Gorman Thomas was the DH.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Ogilvie was in the outfield.
Yeah.
Robin Yount was in the outfield. And now I'm stuck on the last couple. But
was Paul Molitor playing in the field?
Yeah, you're right. He was. He was the second baseman, wasn't he?
Yeah, he must have been. There you go. All right, it is now 3-2 in our Wisconsin Sucks edition of Dad Fights. A few questions ago, we talked about how good Wisconsin Badger football is at whizzing a big game down their own leg. So it's only fair we point out how the Wisco basketball program has managed to suck eggs when it counts as well. In 2015, the Badgers were up by 9 points in the second half of the national championship game against Duke before the Blue Devils came storming back
Tyus Jones.
Okay.
Shot there.
Randy Shaver, here's the rest of the question. They were up by 9 points in the second half of the national championship game against Duke before the Blue Devils came storming back, led by point guard Tyus Jones, who played high school ball here locally at what school?
Apple Valley.
And we also would have accepted Eastview as the name.
Wait a minute. That's where Dana went.
Pride of Eastview. He went to both schools. He transferred at one point.
He did. Went to Wayzata for a while, too. Tyus Jones went to Apple Valley. And we're tied at 3 correct answers each. That loss in the national championship game against Duke means it has been close to 30,000 days since the loser Badger basketball program last won a college basketball title. That championship came in 1941, back when they were still using a peach basket nailed to a post as the basket, and dribbling the ball more than 3 times was a personal foul.
Tie game?
Tie game?
Tie game, Cubby. Yep. How do you feel, Josh? Are you excited?
This is fun.
It is.
Like fellow Wisconsinite Tony Romo, future Hall of Famer J.J. Watt was never able to get it done in the postseason. J.J. played 9 total playoff games, but never reached a Super Bowl. 8 of those games were with the Texans, but his 9th and final game came with this team
Cardinals.
in 2021.
Just sitting on it.
Speaking of Arizona, the Packers lost to the Arizona Cardinals in January of 2010 in the wild card round, 51-45 in overtime.
Oh! What is going on with Randy Shaver the last few weeks? He sits in the weeds. He lets Brad gain a little confidence, and then he comes striking out like a cobra. It's our second Santino Marella reference today. What's that line from REO Speedwagon? Laid there still in the grass, all coiled up in here, saying, reminds me of Randy the last few weeks. It's 4-3
He's
Randy.
like last year's Vikings. You know, you think he's not in it, and all of a sudden he comes back and dominates.
Randy does not.
It takes the older people a while to get going.
No one appreciates being compared to last year's Vikings, but
no.
I see where you're going with that. All right.
Oh, come on. That was a great season.
4-3 lead for the ass man. Even I warned you we weren't going to be, all about sports. We might throw in something a little different. Even some non-famous. No, that's incorrect. Yep. Even some famous non-athletes from Wisconsin have found a way to make sucking a habit. Actor Mark Ruffalo has been nominated for 3 Oscars, but he got beat out every time. Maybe he should stick to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where he plays this big green superhero.
The Hulk.
I have no idea.
That's 5 in a row.
That's correct, Randy Shaver. The Incredible Hulk. Danalysis has provided me this interesting information right here now. You want to know what else is incredible besides the Incredible Hulk? Everybody, do you want to know?
Yeah.
The Packers have lost 4 straight NFC championship games. And it's now 5-3. Randy.
Finish him.
Oh, man. Here we go. In the 1989 NFL Draft, the Packers had themselves the 2nd overall pick.
Tony Mandich.
The Dallas Cowboys took future Hall of Famer Troy Aikman, number 1 overall. The Packers grabbed offensive lineman Tony Mandarich, passing on 3 other future Hall of Famers in Barry Sanders, Derek Thomas, and this former star cornerback, hoping for a prime season in his first year at the coach's Colorado.
Deion Sanders.
Neon Deion was a member of the 1995 and 1996 Dallas Cowboy teams that notably knocked the Packers out of the playoffs in back-to-back seasons.
Wow, Brad Ryder.
Staying alive.
Right there in the hunt.
Because I wasn't patient.
Did these things happen, Randy Shaver?
We finished early before, too. We know how.
I like those snaking questions because then Randy jumps in early all the time.
Well, I still have you.
Yeah.
That's right. So have you, Brad, right?
Yeah. I like how you removed yourself from that.
I did. What? I don't remember that.
I believe the score is 5-4. This is one of the few weeks where I've been able to keep track of the score properly.
It's impressive. You've had it all game.
I don't know what's going on. Maybe it was the weed. I'm more clear in my thinking. 5-4 Randy. So, if Brad can get this one correct, we go to a tiebreaker. If Randy gets it correct, he wins. If no one gets it, Randy wins. Mm-hmm. All right. The stupid University of Wisconsin men's hockey team was looking to add a second national title in 4 seasons in 2010, but they got absolutely embarrassed in the title game against this East Coast beanpot school.
Boston University.
I heard the correct answer from Brad Ryder.
Yep.
Boston College.
Okay.
Boston College. The rest of the question, embarrassed in the title game by this East Coast beanpot school that has produced actual winning athletes like Luke Kuechly, Johnny Gaudreau, and Doug Flutie.
Don't forget about Kofi Kingston, too.
Kofi Kingston went to Boston College?
No way.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, Tom Pelissero, works at the NFL. He lived next to him in the dorms. Kofi Kingston. And
cool.
When he first told me that, he goes, Dana, why don't you sit down? I'm going to tell you something. He's not really Jamaican.
We found that out later, didn't we?
That must have been devastating.
It was tough.
Do you want to know why Kofi Kingston went to Boston College?
Why is that?
Do you want to know why?
I do.
Because New Day rocks. New Day rocks. New for you WWE fans. We're tied at 5 now and going to a tiebreaker.
How bad has Wisconsin football been lately? Well, the Gophers have spent 2 straight years as the rightful owner of this iconic...
The correct answer, just as Brad said it, is Paul Bunyan's ass.
That's what I heard as well.
No, I said ass.
It sounded
I
like
said ass.
It's close enough. We would have accepted Paul Bunyan's ass.
If he gets Chris Hemmingsworth, I get that.
I think fair is fair, Brad
Still
Ryder.
remember that.
I think you're right. Paul Bunyan's ass has given Brad Ryder a victory in the Wisconsin Sucks edition of Dad Fights.
A much-needed victory. He had lost 8 of the last 9.
I'm off the schneid a little bit.
Boy, it wasn't looking good for a while there.
No.
That was another really exciting performance by the both of you. Don't let anyone ever tell you you're not still great athletes. The performances that you've been putting on lately.
And so when I wrote that Dad Fights, I reached out to a buddy of mine. I think I told some of you guys this yesterday. Massive Wisconsin sports fan. I said, hey, we're doing our weekly trivia questions, the Wisconsin Sucks edition. Tell me about all the times Wisconsin's broke your heart. And he kind of did that move like a guy would in a movie where like takes a drag of a cigarette and is like, how much time you got? So I got to give a lot of credit to my buddy Ben, who helped me with a lot of these heartbreaks.
Yeah,
that was good.
This has been friggin' fun.
Yeah, that was
Josh,
good.
how are the 715ers dealing with it? I'm looking at my text messages, and they're doing a lot of but the Vikings have but the Golden Gophers.
Yeah,
it doesn't
my phone's
matter.
getting blown up by my friends from Wisconsin.
It's Wisconsin Sucks Day. We don't talk about anything else. You just got to take your friggin' medicine.
Yeah, someday we'll have to do a Minnesota Sucks Day.
Maybe Dad Fight 680 we'll do. We'll get around to Minnesota Sucks.
Yeah.
Well, that would have to be a full show edition then, probably.
People are, exactly. People are texting in. They understand. They've got a good sense of humor about it.
It's all in good fun.
It's been a hell of a deal. Randy and Brad, go out there and have a hell of a weekend. We hope that both of you have a blast.
Yeah.
And thank you very much. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Sounds good.
We'll be back before you know it here on the, how should I say it? The proud Minnesota, yet sympathetic to Wisconsin's problems radio show.
Yeah, we understand.
Yeah, we're sympathetic to your problems. We're right
friends.
back.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey Minnesota, CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace or AC is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Are you currently enjoying the show on the Stitcher app? Then you need to know Stitcher is going away on August 29th. Yep. Going away, as in kaput, gone, dead. Rest in peace, Stitcher, and thanks for 15 years of service to the podcast community. So switch to another podcast app and follow this show there. Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
Half-assed Morning Show. 93X. The 93X Half-assed Morning Show.
Christ, isn't this something? It's Friday morning. It's 8:31. Welcome back to the program. By damn, we do. We welcome you back. Let's go ahead and talk about the awkward, stupid phases we went through when we were young, because the social media dorks were all talking about this a day or two ago. I think I even remember some of our individual weird, annoying phases we all went through, because we have discussed this before. A lot of it is fashion-related. Now, first off, I don't know if you've got a story, Wapple, because I think you're still smack dab in the middle of your awkward phase, but I don't know. You tell me.
Really? I thought I was way more awkward back in the day. Like, I went through a phase when I was, towards the end of elementary school, middle school, and I wore those pants that would take off, and you could take them off into shorts.
Oh, the unzip the knees.
Yeah.
Oh, those are cool.
Did you have a problem with body temperature, or you just thought they looked nice?
I thought they looked cool, but then looking back on them, boy, did I look like a dork.
So halfway through class, you'd go, "Pow-pow, here are my calves."
I'd be like, "Oh, gym class, I'm ready."
Yeah. You didn't have to go to the locker for a change of clothes. You just tore the legs off of your zip-off. How do you call it?
Yeah, boy, that would be embarrassing when you lose one, though.
Like I said, I think I remember everybody's. Correct me if I'm wrong. Well, I'll tell you mine. I mean, and it was 100% fashion-related. Every day, my junior year of high school, I had a bandana hanging out my back right pocket. I saw Slash do it in a Guns N' Roses video, and I mimicked, and I never missed a day. Now, and this is going to sound really weird, because it's not like I was the biggest Guns N' Roses fan in the world. And then my senior year of high school, every single day, I wore a bandana on my head with a baseball cap over the top of it, because I saw Axl Rose do it in the video for Patience.
I don't know that would be awkward.
And then bowling shoes.
Because that was kind of popular. That
What
stuff.
was it?
Yeah, absolutely. There was kids at my school that did that. And then bowling shoes in high school, it seemed like everybody had those.
Well,
I didn't.
I was a little older than you. I don't know if that comes into play, but I was the only swinging D that had that look at my high school, and I thought I was very, very cool and original for it. And now looking back, it's absolutely stupid that I couldn't mix it up. Mix it up. Go without a hat for one day, you dummy. That was my scene.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's awkward, personally. I mean, I had a week where I wore fat pants. That's awkward.
Well, I guess. I mean, I remember your fat pants
and
phase.
I know that was kind of popular at the time, but just for me, it didn't make any sense.
Well, all right.
I had a lot of awkward stages growing up.
You had the, from what I remember, you had the dark sider thing happening, right?
Yeah, that was like middle school, but in elementary school, I always cringe when I think about it. I really hated dressing girly. Like I refused to wear shorts that went above my knee until I was probably in 7th or 8th grade. I would never wear my hair down. I always wore like big t-shirts, like plain colored t-shirts for some reason. I didn't like any graphic. I was just
you were very boyish.
Yeah,
you might say.
Huge tomboyish.
But weren't you an athlete in those days?
Yeah, that's when I played like softball and basketball, but I also had 5 brothers, so like I thought it was growing up in elementary school, like it was so much cooler to be a boy. Like you could do like you could go and play the sports and get dirty in the dirt. Like,
you pee in our urinals. I mean, you still do that
that's
kind
to
of thing.
assert dominance on you guys.
It startled me on my first day when I walked in and saw that. I was like, oh, God, what?
And Dana, if I remember, speaking of boys, you were very much a boy band-looking character back in the day, right?
Yeah, I regret that. I was just following the lead at the time. You know, I didn't have any unique personality myself. I wore, the polo shirts.
Pop collars?
I never popped the collar. We never went that far. We made fun of the kids that did that.
Puka shell necklace?
Puka shell necklace. I even went through a phase where I was wearing boat shoes for some reason. Like, I was just desperately trying to just, wear what other people were wearing. Then I got to a point where I'm like, F this. I'm done doing this. I don't care. I'm just wear what I feel comfortable in.
And Josh, I appreciate you trying to lighten the embarrassment of what I called my awkward phase by saying you didn't think that my bandana gimmick was awkward, bowling shoes. Maybe this will help. You have to remember this was the late 80s, and I was even skinnier than Wapple, and my jeans were as skin tight as you could imagine.
Skinny jeans. Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't skinny jeans, but I was a skinny guy in tight jeans, if that helps you. No. And then, of course, big head of hair with the ball cap and the bandana.
I don't know. I think that was just kind of cool at the time. If you walked around in a slash top hat, that might have been a bit awkward.
Oh, dude.
I think there's one guy that can pull that off.
Well, speaking of the social media dorks and top hats, some of the entries here I thought were really funny. People talking about their weird phases, and one of them right here is almost exactly the way you put it. Somebody or another said, in high school I would regularly wear a top hat to school because I thought it made me look cool and edgy. A friggin' top hat. That is something.
It is so funny how you remember at the time you thought you just looked so damn cool. You just thought you were awesome, and and now you see pictures of that era of your life, and you're just like, burn the album.
You're almost pissed at your parents that they let you go through with that.
Yeah, there's a specific sweatshirt. It was a yellow Aeropostale sweatshirt, and I wore it for like 3 years straight. And I was really blonde at that time. People that are very blonde should not wear yellow. It just looks like you're a banana.
Now they continue on here. One person had a guitar phase, where after learning just enough to carry a few popular tunes on my guitar, I started playing it at parties. God help us.
I never had a guitar kit in school. I'm
Oh,
jealous.
you did it?
No.
Really?
We definitely did.
I never saw one of those until we were into our 20s.
I would have fell in love, though, I'm sure.
This individual with the guitar face said, I'm amazed I wasn't made more fun of at the time. I went through an intellectual phase as a teenager because I read one book on philosophy, and therefore I was an enlightened genius.
I always like that.
Everybody knows those kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Well,
People who have read one book on something, and all of a sudden they're an aviation expert.
Dude.
And they're spouting up knowledge at parties and stuff. Like, just shut up.
You don't have to be a teenager for that. You don't. Like Josh was saying, what did you just reference? Oh, aviation, I'm guessing you're referencing an adult who did that?
Yes.
I used to know a guy who, this was so friggin' obnoxious. I know for a fact he read chapter 1 only of a parenting book. And at that moment in time, he suddenly was the utmost authority on children. A chapter. And he would talk down to people about their kids and how, no. See, children react to this and that. Shut it. Trench coat. Here's somebody who had a trench coat.
Well, depending on the year.
Yeah, that kind of got shut down.
I looked badass with my long hair. I was going for a grunge Highlander look. I like the sounds of that. I mean, yeah, I feel less and less funny about how I used to present myself when you read some of these awkward phases. Like, I mean, give me a break. In middle school, somebody says, I brought a dry erase board and communicated by writing on it instead of talking for no reason at all. For no reason at all.
yeah.
I can totally picture kids back in the day doing something like that.
Yeah, so much. Like, I can picture myself doing that. I'm just like cringing, remembering. Oh, God.
Snot Rocket Jesus has texted in. Does anyone else's parents have a wall of shame of the yearly school yearbook pictures?
No, that got taken down. Thank God.
I wanted to burn the house down every time a boyfriend came over. Bangs and permed hair. Why didn't someone slap me and shake me? Boy, there was some big hairdos. Whoo-wee, did we have some big hairdos at our high school. State fair hair, they used to call it. Here's somebody who spoke in a fake British accent for an entire month at school.
We had those kids.
I'd hate
so
those
did we.
people.
Yep,
Really?
we did as well.
I hate them.
Honestly, why? What did you...
They thought it made them more cultured.
Yeah, it made them sound smarter, more sophisticated.
Did you ever approach these kids and say, look, I know for a fact you're from Hopkins?
Yes, constantly.
And they didn't care? They just...
Nope. It was two people specifically.
There's this one kid, he spoke in this kind of like mangled combination of accents and stuff. And he just kind of talked like, they were like, dude, why do you just talk like that? He goes, man, because I'm from Hastings, yo. I'm from Hastings. That's how they talk in Hastings.
It's a whole different world.
You don't know, I'm from Hastings.
Bricked my pants, Jesus said in middle school he unironically wore a fedora, and now he wouldn't mind if his house collapsed on him right now.
That's dramatic, but I understand.
Oh, yeah.
Ask me about CrossFit, Jesus. It's the mid-'80s. He was full-on preppy, James Spader-like. Double-popped collar polo shirts, sweater draped over the shoulders, even had a mullet before it was wacky.
Oh, that sounds awful. Double pop collar.
Now, how about the BS stories to try to make yourself more interesting? I was guilty of that in grade school. Here's what this, and I'll explain that in a minute. Here's this, another addition to the topic of awkward faces. First day of second grade, I told the entire class that Amanda Bynes was my stepsister. I think I remember who that is. A cute little gal.
Yep. Very
Adorable
funny.
little...
Going through some stuff right now.
She's going through some stuff?
Some drug and mental health issues, yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Pretty sad.
This individual, okay, I told everyone on my first day of second grade that Amanda Bynes was my stepsister. I kept up the charade for the entire school year. One kid even asked for an autograph, and I gave him a piece of notebook paper with her name written down in my baby cursive handwriting.
Yeah, I did stuff like that. I still cringe when I think about this.
What were the stories that you told?
This girl, there was like show and tell. So we'd go around and say like whatever was happening that weekend or what happened the past week. And this girl that everybody liked, she was like talking about how she was moving somewhere. And so she brought, like her parents put together this cute little binder where she could show people like the new house, the pictures of the new house. And I was jealous. So I told the whole class that I was moving to Canada. My teacher looked at me like, no, you're not. You're not moving to Canada.
Oh, you think you're special with a new house? I'm gaining an entire new country.
That Amanda Bynes thing reminds me of there was a girl in 6th grade who had said that she was cousins with Lou Diamond Phillips. And
Nice.
she kept running with that. She was not cousins with Lou Diamond Phillips. And many people probably don't even know who I'm talking about, but kind of an 80s heartthrob.
Chavez E. Chavez in the Young Guns documentaries.
Yeah.
That's
At first
great.
we all thought, oh, that's awesome. And then it was revealed she knows nothing about Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah, see, mine was, I maybe was a first or a second grader. She's still a pretty little kid at that point. And I loved the North Stars like no other. And Craig Hartsburg was the top defenseman on the team and piling up points. And Craig Hartsburg was a big stud here in town at local. And I decided to tell everyone in my class that Craig Hartsburg was my real dad.
Why not? Worth a try.
Really? He's your it's just stupid. Here's someone who says, I decided in middle school that I was a witch.
We definitely had some witches and vampire types in my
You
schools
had
growing up.
witches, you had vampires, you had kids who pretended to be British. Jesus balls, I wish I would have gone to Egan schools. There was a lot going on
It was a
over
big
there.
high school. It definitely was.
I worked with a couple of girls that were sisters and witches.
Dude, what do you think about this? Dude says, my 9th and 10th grade years, Black leather motorcycle jacket, heavily customized with spikes, leopard print fabric, band patches, stripes made with whiteout, black jeans sewn tight with more band patches, black band shirts with sleeves and collar ripped off, 14-inch Doc Marten boots, studded bondage and or bullet belts placed loosely around the waist.
Bruh.
Wow, it sounds heavy.
I would not mess with that person.
You pretty much described Dave Mustaine from 1988 right there.
Sounds like every 80-year-old grandparent's biggest nightmare.
Jesse texted and said, I went through a year, of a phase for a year where I always referred to myself in the third person.
Oh,
no! when the Rock became big when I was in middle school, that was a thing for guys to do as well.
Jokingly so, or they meant it like the Rock?
I think a little bit of both. I think
funny.
these kind of mimicked the Rock, but also they thought it was funny.
Bob Jesus said in 5th grade he wore fake leather pants, fake leather jacket, left-hand glove, which Michael Jackson wore. And he'd run around the playground dressed like that.
You must have sweat
Cute
your
little
bag
kid.
off running around the playground in leather pants and a leather fake or not. Now we got to take a break here in a minute, but one more to close out. Did anyone go through this phase? Was there a word that you insisted on using to make yourself sound cool when you were a young person?
Yeah, absolutely. The F word.
So you swore?
It was 6th or 7th grade again. And I remember to the point where I thought, wait, we really got to slow this down. We're saying the F word a lot.
So
it made us feel adult and cool.
Okay, sure. You're not a foul guy.
No, I rarely swear.
And I'm sure you weren't a foul child, but would you say you kind of insisted on dumping a lot of F-bombs to make yourself kind of look...
I felt cool.
Felt cool.
I never, and then all of a sudden, with some friends, we just always use the F word.
This is very funny to me. One more entry here in the awkward phase conversation where, somebody says, I had a thing where I would pick up on words and just use them for no good reason. And the worst one I had was ahoy. I said ahoy instead of hi, and I replaced ahoy with a lot of other words.
Oh, no.
I wish to forget this. Ahoy, everybody. Oh, my God. I would.
I had kind of a moment like that on Monday. I had a doctor's appointment, and then when the nurse came out to grab me, she called me back, and I said, good day.
Oh, no.
Where did that come from? I've never said that in my life.
Suddenly you're an 1800s Englishman.
Yeah, I just stepped off a boat. Why was I saying good day?
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. We'll be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show 93X.
Yes, good day and ahoy to you from the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. I'm looking forward to our next conversation. We've had a great time these last few Fridays talking with active and former or retired members of our armed forces. Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch deserve all the credit for setting this up every Friday on the Half-Assed Morning Show. You can listen in for this. We've been meeting some pretty damn interesting people, and an added plus each week. When we meet these folks, a donation is made in their name to Folds of Honor. Today's guest is Nicholas Ron from the United States Air Force. Good morning, Nicholas.
Hey, guys. How's everyone doing?
Good.
We're doing all right, man.
Thanks
How
for
are
calling
you?
in.
I'm doing great. I'm actually out on Oakland Golf Course for the Brian McDonough Heroes Foundation golf tournament, and they're actually donating to my nonprofit today. So making money playing golf.
Oh, awesome.
We're not interrupting your game. Are you pretty skilled behind the wheel of one of those golf clubs?
Nah, man. My dad just stole my golf cart, and they've been calling me Hasselhoff all day because I've been in the sand and the water the whole time.
Let me tell you something, Ryan. A buddy of yours by the name of Brent Johnson, who also served, nominated you on our website. And folks should be aware that if you'd like to nominate an active or former member of our armed forces, go to 93x.com. Brent Johnson nominated you, and here's what he said about you. He said, Nick has worked hard after leaving the military. He has founded the nonprofit Warriors Next Adventure, helping active duty and veterans overcome PTSD through recreational therapy. He is also a motivational speaker through another business he created called Invoke Change LLC. Man, you've been a busy and charitable guy.
Yeah.
Well, I struggled when I got out. It's very well known that a lot of vets struggle when they get out of the military, kind of finding their place. And so what I do is I just help vets find their purpose, and we run a 24/7 crisis line for vets. And actually, Friday we just had our 118th call, and they're all still alive. So that's something I'm willing to brag about.
Yeah, well, that's worthy of it. And I got to tell you, Nick, we do get a lot of texts about your charities from people saying, people mentioning how great they are and how much it's helped. And some people you have helped in the past have texted in as well.
Well, it's pretty cool because, like, most of the guys who come to us, they're looking for purpose, and that's kind of what I ended up doing is, 2015, I ended up having a suicide attempt, and lucky for me, I suck at killing myself. So, I decided to go on a journey to kind of find out who I was and became an MMA fighter in 2018. I was ranked number 5 welterweight in Minnesota.
Jesus.
Wow.
And thought that's where I was going to go, but then ended up getting knocked out, and I sounded like Floyd Mayweather trying to read a book, so decided to quit.
I can picture that. So, Warrior's Next Adventure, that's one that we get texts specifically about. And we were reading a little bit about it, and you guys have a wolf sanctuary? You have the dirt track race cars, the jiu-jitsu program, but a wolf sanctuary. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So all of our programs are actually to get veterans involved, and what they don't realize is once we're focusing on whatever event or activity that we're doing, people start opening up. And we partnered with Minnesota Wolf Dogs. It's a wolf sanctuary up in Sandstone. What we do is I'm a carpenter, so we build dog houses, we build fences, but we also get to get in the cages with the wolves, too. It's one of the coolest things in the world, seeing this big, bad veteran get scared because he doesn't want to touch a wolf. Then he sees me feeding one out of my mouth with a hot dog.
Jesus, criminy, former military. MMA fighter, a carpenter,
mountain
climber, feeds wolves hot dogs out of his own mouth. I am the softest human being on planet Earth.
I know.
Jeez Louise. I mean, it's some of what Josh mentioned, some of what you have involved with some of the events that you have for Warrior's Next Adventure is truly incredible stuff. And tell me about mountain climbing. What is the highest point? What's the furthest? Tell me about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so every year we do a fundraising lottery on the Warriors Next Adventure's birthday, April 18th, and we open it up to veterans. So the first 5 veterans to raise $500 or more on a Facebook fundraiser or something like that get to go all expenses paid. Wow. Now, it costs a lot more than $500, but, at least gets us plane tickets and stuff like that. So 2020, we climbed the tallest mountain peak in Colorado. It's Mount Elbert. I believe it's 14,440 feet.
It was rough. I'm looking at a picture of you right now, I think, when you reach the top of that pig, and that looks incredible.
Oh, God, it's the most beautiful sight in the world. But to be honest, I have a hole in my heart, so I have one of the valves doesn't work well. So once I get above 13,000 feet, man, I'm always the last one up. So.
Oh, really?
I get beat every time. So.
We're talking with Nicholas Ron here, former member of the United States Air Force, involved in Warrior's Next Adventure. He's a motivational speaker, and if you were just listening a few minutes ago, he's got dozens of other things he's involved with that I am way too weak to ever consider. But before we let you go, we have to hear this story about a boat capsizing in the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, so we thought it'd be smart to try to row a boat across the Atlantic Ocean. We started in the Canary Islands in Spain, right off the coast of Africa, and we were rowing to Antigua, which is in the Caribbean. And December 28th, what happened was we had massive storms, about 40-foot swells, and, 40-foot swells seems crazy.
You're in a rowboat.
Yeah, it was a 28-foot rowboat with 3 other guys, and we had a back cabin, a front cabin, and 2 guys on deck, and we actually got hit by a 40-foot wave. And while we were on the top, our boat turned sideways because it crested on us right at the top, and then we got hit by a wind, and we fell off of the wave. So we probably fell about 40, 50 feet, and I was knocked out immediately. So when I woke up, I was actually 2 feet underwater, and there was water filling up in my cabin, and I couldn't open my door. So Chad actually dove underneath the water, came over, helped me pry my door open, and I waited till it filled up all the way up to my neck, and then I dove under, and I had to swim about 20 feet to the life raft. And we spent 18 hours in a life raft floating around the Atlantic by ourselves. And
that's terrifying.
Yeah, to make things worse, we found out once we got rescued by a Dutch shipping vessel, it was a 180-meter vessel, we found out that the U.S. Coast Guard got our beacons, and they sent the beacons to the RCC in Cape Verde. Cape Verde Coast Guard had so many false alarms that night, they thought it was a false alarm, so they deleted our alarm, and no one was looking for it. Yeah, so we got lucky. We had 10% battery left on our VHF radio, and about 16, 17 hours into it, we heard a mic click, and so we called again, Mayday, 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 this is Whoopee Crew. If you can hear us, give us 2 clicks. And we heard 2 clicks, and all of us start crying. We're like, oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it was wild, man.
You think so? Christ almighty.
I would have fed myself to the sharks at hour 1.
Yeah, definitely.
I ran out of gas once, and I'm still traumatized by it.
The funny thing is the boat that we were in was called the Whoopee, and it was actually painted like a shark. And right as we all got into the life raft, we tied up to the boat, and we pushed away. And 30 seconds later, the nose of the boat comes flying into the life raft, and it's got shark teeth on it. We're like, no. We start smacking it. So technically, there was a shark.
Nick, one text here says, F Chuck Norris, this guy's the baddest dude on the planet.
Seriously. I was just about to say, Josh, we finally did it. We had a conversation with the most interesting man in the world.
Absolutely. and one of the more charitable.
Nick, a donation is going to be made in your name to Folds of Honor. We thank you so much for calling us this morning and sharing some of your stories, but it seems like, I think it's obvious, we'd need to spend an entire damn night at a bar with you to get the whole picture of your life. This has been an incredible conversation.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you guys like the hats that I left up there. They're the Richardson ones with the W&A leather logo on there.
Oh, I haven't seen them yet. Yeah.
I haven't.
Why are you guys keeping those from us?
Waffle has them. I think Waffle took them for himself.
Yeah, you guys got them.
You guys have them.
Where? Well, it must be like in our mailbox.
We'll look for them. This shady-ass Wapple put them in a backpack and tried to take them home.
Yeah, you brought one home. It was nice. Looked good on you, Nick.
Nicholas, Ron, good luck out on the golf course, and I hope we get a chance to speak again.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate everything you guys do. Me and my daughter watch you guys every morning. She loves Kermit, is what she calls Wapple.
He's very lovable.
I think young people love
lovable.
Wapple. Take care, Nick.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys.
Good day to you, sir. Good day.
Good day and ahoy to you.
Ahoy.
Wow,
That
man.
was awesome.
I can't even really, what's the word folks use when they win a championship? It hasn't really sunk in yet. It hasn't even really sunk in yet. All of what that man just got done telling us about his life and what he does and what he has done, what he's accomplished. It's incredible. And like I said, it kind of makes me feel like I've wasted my own existence, but what a great story.
I was just thinking, I began the show complaining about having to drive from Eagan to Brooklyn Park in rush hour traffic. That's one of those that, what do they say? Aged badly.
Yeah. We'll delete that from the podcast.
What an effing crazy but entertaining conversation. Thanks again, Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you so much. Congratulations to Millie getting married tomorrow from Natural Light Jesus, formerly Bush Light Jesus. Shout out to Travis and Aaron on their bachelor party this weekend. Enjoy your freedom, suckers, from your bud Jake. Some weekend birthdays in the brother and sisterhood. Happy birthday to Chasing That Carrot Jesus, Zelda Master Jesus, Captain Lovin' Jesus, Gail, and then also my brother Damon. And with the exception of my brother Damon, hope you have a great weekend.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals.